Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Arnie's Pizza in Rensselaer. Bob Kurtz, Bill Kay, and Scotty Miller with you on the Coach's Cage show for this Wednesday, November the 15th. Got a lot of coaches, incorporating all the coaches now, girls and boys. Basketball coming in tonight. Boys season starts next week. If you're Rensselaer girls, you're halfway through the season almost here, so just
unbelievable.
A lot of disparity on games played. And speaking of games being played, Brian Heimlich has stopped behind the microphone from the North White Lady Vikings. Good to see you, Brian. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
All right, 2 games to talk about.
Yeah,
take it away.
So this week, actually last week was the first one. Friday, Caston came over, and then we went over to Carroll last night, and we knew. Going into the season, these 2 games were going to be very tough for us to start the season off with, with a young team. We told the girls even early on in the season, first practices, we knew that it was going to be that way. And so, Friday, Caston comes over. I think they're ranked right now 4th in 1A. Return a lot of players from last year. A lot of seniors. They start four seniors, and very good basketball players. I mean, they're very athletic, they're strong, and they had 5 seniors. 5 of their 5 seniors all were players on that state softball championship team last year too. So they're athletes, and just from the start, I thought the first 3-4 minutes, and it always is that way. Games kind of you just got to get a feel of the game, and we were there, and then they just kicked it up that notch, picked up the pressure, and we just didn't handle it. We were still trying to figure that part out, and they went on I think it was 12-4, and with about a minute left in the first quarter, and ended up 20-4. So they went on an 8-0 run in the last minute, and it was just quick turnovers, not finding girls in transition, and they hit a couple threes, and just like that, it was 16 at the end of the first quarter, and then from there it just kind of snowballed. They're a good team. I mean, you can't take anything away from them because they're very athletic. They come from everywhere, and like I said, they're very strong. I mean, you get them to miss shots, and the Scales girl and Zippelman just out rebound you all night. I mean, they fly in there, and it's hard to emulate that in practice. And you tell the girls that's what's going to happen, and they just come out of nowhere. And sometimes
does she have a lot of height, Scales?
No, she really doesn't. I mean, she's about 5'9", very strong. She's going to Bethel next year to play. And she's a very good softball player and volleyball player. I mean, she's just an athlete. I mean, she really is. She just goes after it and anticipates things very well. Shots coming off the rim, passes, just wherever the ball is, she's just got a knack for it. And so that was, it was a struggle for us all night. And I did think, after the game, I thought Kaylin Applegate and Autumn Reif really did a nice job defensively for us, and just the aggressiveness. We just need some of that leadership, and so I think we're still trying to find that. As I said, we don't have a senior, and we're trying to find those girls that are going to go out on the floor and give 100% every time, and kind of be where that Caston team is. And it'll take some time, obviously, and so we just got to find those girls and then have them bring the rest of them with them too.
Coach, I know you don't want to, lose by a big amount, but the game like this have pay dividends down the road for your group.
It's hard to tell. Those games are really hard to. I've been on, over the last few years, we've been on some of those too. Those are very hard to coach in, but I think they're very hard to play into. You get to a certain point, and it's just sometimes it gets kind of sloppy too. But there's definitely teaching points for us. I mean, that we've gotten on and shown them, and then just gone back and practice and told them. And the big thing is, for us right now, I think the big thing is just the effort that it takes to play at that level. I mean, we've got a lot of young kids out there, and the effort that it takes for 32 minutes, and the hustle, and watching those girls that we competed against, both Friday night and then last night against Carroll. I mean, both those teams have girls going on and going to play at the next level, and that's a big difference right there. I mean, those girls know what it takes, and they've just got a skill level that you can't emulate in practice, and when you go to play defense, I mean, you've got to be locked in, or they're going to do what it takes to score, whether it's them scoring or them getting their teammates involved. And so that's kind of the learning experience, I think, is just we've been trying to tell them is the playing hard all the time. I mean, and then carrying that over, and it's got to be practicing hard all the time. You can't just come out and go half a practice go hard and the other part not, because you're not going to carry that over in the game. And so that's been our goal as coaches, to be positive, but yet tell them, I mean, trying to show them, and then trying to give them in drills to show them, the kind of effort that they need to put in practice, so that does carry over to games.
So last night, more of the same for.
Yeah, it really was. I thought our effort was not as good last night as it was against Caston. We went over to Carroll, and just from the opening tip, we we start turning the ball over, and I felt like that's when we're putting our heads down, or we make a defensive error. The first quarter, I mean, today I told him, I said the first quarter, I think we got them to miss. There's 4 different possessions where we got them to miss the first shot, and even on one of them, I think it was the second shot. But we gave up a rebound, and they scored. We gave up another rebound, they scored. I mean, there was 4 possessions where we got stops, but we didn't finish it by not rebounding the basketball. And that can help you too when you're that can help your transition game, both offensively when you're struggling offensively sometimes, when they're scoring and then setting up maybe a half-court trap or a press or whatever. I mean, if you can get those stops and be able to get something in transition, it does help your offense a little bit. And that's what we're fighting too, is just not being one there. And they had 6 seniors as well. I mean, they had 4 senior starters. Both of these teams were just physically stronger than us, for one. I mean, physically stronger and quicker. And, that's hard to, it is hard to compete. But you got to keep going out there and competing, and that's what we're just trying to get across the girls. But like I said, just don't take away from them. They you get seniors like that have been playing a while. They were physically stronger and faster than us, so that was a big part of it.
Who's played really well for you guys through these first 3 games?
Well, like I mentioned a couple the other, or just that Friday night game, and I thought it was kind of the same last night defensively, and just going hard every play and not taking a play off. I thought Kaylin Applegate so far has really done that. I mean, she hasn't done a lot on the offensive end for us, but I think defensively she's really been a leader, and she knows what we want. She's been communicating out there. And then Autumn is another one that, I mean, athletically, she's one of the best athletes in the area. I mean, volleyball wise, she does very well. Basketball for us, she had a breakout freshman year last year, and then she's a great track athlete as well. So she's one that athletically, especially against that Caston team, was just as strong as any of those girls. But I think she's done a nice job. We just can't get her the ball right now. We've struggled turning the ball over, so that that hurts us getting her in some scoring positions. But we just tried to talk to them a little bit last night, trying to get them. I said, you guys need to be you guys are playing hard. You need to be those positive leaders on the court and in practice. And Morgan Carter was another one that was from last year. She struggled a little bit. She's in a different role. I mean, she's having to handle the ball a lot more. Her, and then Sable George is another one that's a junior. They haven't been in that position at this level before, and so it is a different thing. And we're just trying to get all of the girls to come meet passes at times. I mean, maybe one time it'll be a guard's not throwing it hard enough. Well, the next time they throw a pretty solid pass, we're waiting on it, or we're kind of backing away from it. And you can't do that when teams are putting pressure on you. Everybody's got to help each other out. You got to come meet passes and be strong with the basketball. So, we just keep working on it. Have a game, and then after this, we go on the road to Winnemac tomorrow night. And they've been playing pretty well. They're a year older from last year. They didn't really lose much from last year, but they're a year older. They got a good freshman playing for them. But our goal is to go over there and just I talked about tonight, just have that toughness and competing hard and see what happens. And then we get some practice time because we have we don't play till next Saturday, and that's right now. I think we need some practice time as well. Just as you go to a game, then you get back. I mean, they're so young. There's a lot of stuff we got to teach too. So, the big thing is we want them to learn from that teaching too. I mean, we can't tell them something and they go out and make that same mistake over and over and over, even after we're trying to correct it. So just learn from those and get better.
Brian, thanks a lot for coming over. We will not meet next week because of the Thanksgiving holiday, so we'll see you in a couple of weeks, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Brian Heimlich from the North White Lady Vikings, back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals, increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
Back on the Coach's Cage, Bob Kurtz, Bill Kay, and Scotty Miller with you tonight. Moving over to the boys' side now for a little preview of the season from Ryan Harrington, coach of the Tri-County Cavaliers. Ryan, good to see you again. How you doing?
Great to see you guys as well.
Good-looking shirt you got on there.
Thank you. Wanted to represent today.
That's right. There you go. Well, tell us how you finished last year, how many people you lost off the squad.
So last year, end of our year, finished off pretty strong. Heading, after New Year's, we really started to get on a roll there towards the end of the last season, and then got in the sectional. And I felt like we got a pretty favorable draw. We had some weird weather conditions where things got postponed, and it turned out that Saturday we were playing both games, and we played both games, came out on top. 2 tight games, beat Frontier by only 2 points in the morning, and then turned around and had to play North White. Went to overtime, so as if we didn't play enough basketball that day, we went to overtime and we were able to prevail on a big Nate Corbin 3 there towards the end of the game. So as far as the guys we lost, I just said one of them, huge loss for us, Nate Corbin, averaged right around 12 points a game. He was close to 10 rebounds a game for us too. He led us in rebounds and points, so he's a huge loss for us just as far as a contributor.
Do-it-all player, wasn't he?
Absolutely, yeah, and a big leader too. So I'm not worried about where we are this year. We've got great leaders in the locker room, but it's just been different. It's just a different look this year. And then along with that, in that senior class, we had Will Getz, who really came on strong for us at the end of the year. Going into that sectional, we had Eric Zarzi, one of our guards, break his hand, and so we were down a guard. And Will Getz was a huge reason why we were able to win that sectional, because he stepped right into that other guard role and held his own, and that's kind of a different thing than we had asked for him to do all year. So he's going to be deeply missed. And then kind of our bench leaders and guys who brought us a ton of stuff for us, not just in practice, but at different times of the season when we needed them as role players, are J.P. Shimmerhorn and Sammy Bungeon. So 4 seniors that we lost from last year's team, but as far as big contributors, we bring a lot of guys back, and I'm really excited to see how we can do this season.
How many guys are you out for the team, and tell us about some of your key players?
So we have 21 total, so that's going to kind of be a mix of varsity, JV, and we will also have a C team going as well. So that's
unheard
pretty nice.
of anymore.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is, I believe talking to the conference schools, I think every school in the conference is going to have a C team. So that's going to be great for every team in the conference getting that competition. We've already scheduled games with some of those teams we weren't used to having C team games with, and I'm really excited. It really gives those younger guys an opportunity to continue to improve and go against guys that are still their age, because that jump from middle school to JV and varsity sometimes is a really big one. There's just stronger athletes, the game's a lot quicker, so just giving those kids opportunities to thrive against kids their own age is really important. As far as the
varsity
big contributors we got, Kobe Baylor is going to be a huge one for us.
In his 7th year, maybe?
Yeah, I mean,
seems like it.
Yeah, he's still got a COVID year, I think, so I'm hoping he can come back.
There you go. I like that.
But yeah, I mean, you talk about Tri-County athletics the last 4 years. The name Kobe Baylor was probably mentioned in some capacity. He's been incredible for us, just coming off a big football season, leading us to a first winning record in a while. So he's going to be a huge piece for us. Connor Ross, kind of the big guy on the inside, really athletic, really he makes some flashy plays sometimes. It's not always a conventional play. Sometimes it's a little unorthodox, but Connor's always in the right place making big plays. I mentioned Eric Zarzi broke his hand at the end of last season, and he's done nothing but work his tail off all summer long, all fall even. He's been with me. He doesn't do a fall sport, and as soon as he broke his hand and we were able to win that sectional, I just knew this is a guy that's going to work his tail off, because at the end of the day, he wants to be on the floor when we're winning the sectional. Yeah, he was a part of last year's team, but I just know how hungry he is this year, and it's been awesome to watch him to continue to grow. And he's a big leader for us now as well. Ian Brooks is another guy that came in off the bench a lot for us last year, and more of a role player, but a super important role player. Talking about that sectional, we beat Frontier by 2 points in that game, and Nate Corbin, who, again, like I said, last year led some points and rebounds, had fouled out of that game, but Ian Brooks went in there and not only held his own defensively, but he actually scored a bucket for us. And the great thing about that was, like I said, we won by 2 points, but that was also his only varsity points the entire season. We're there in that sectional. So, again, huge role player for us. And then a couple, I can't go without mentioning Riley Hughes as the point guard for us. He's a junior. He's another guy who's had a ton of varsity experience, though, because he was starting point guard even as a freshman. So he brings a lot of poise and composure to us at that position, because he's just really good at setting the offense up. As far as new guys that didn't necessarily get a ton of varsity time last year, but we're going to see a lot of this year, Noah Dallenberg's a big one. He's kind of a tweener. He can play a wing position. He can also get down low and score. And another guy that's similar is Grayson Schneider. And Grayson's one that he can definitely jump out of the gym. So I'm excited to see what he can do against this varsity level talent. And then there's going to be a couple other guys kind of in the mix of varsity with at the sophomore level with Clayton Atkinson, big tall redhead for us. He's about 6'5", so got a lot of good size for us on the inside. And then we've got several really good guards too at that same level with Tyler Burns, which would be Chad Burns' nephew. And then we've got triplets with Trey, Drew, and Nick Foster.
boy.
So, again, we just got a lot of talent. And then that's not without, I haven't even mentioned Noah Pratt, another junior guard who's shown a ton of potential really defensively and passing the ball for us. So, just got a lot of guys that can be in the mix. Some of those guys will play JV to start the year, but we'll see how it shakes out. I've told all of them, hey, it's a long season. You're going to get opportunities. You just got to be ready when you get them.
How much do these kids get to play basketball over the summer?
Well, I mean, a lot of these guys do nothing but play basketball, to be honest with you. Go down the list of guys. I had a lot of these guys working out with me. Mainly in the fall, all we can really do is condition. We can only do basketball activities so many times a week, so we're kind of limited on that. But there's different times where, with the middle school kids included, we had like almost 20 guys working out this fall. So, and again, like I said, we're mainly just in the weight room and running, but just being able to be around them, communicate those things, we can still talk, and they're just really hungry. As far as being in the gym too, like right now with practices, if I don't tell them, hey boys, let's put the basketballs up and leave, they would still be in the gym right now. So they just kind of love being in the gym, and a lot of them play AAU and stuff, so they spend a lot of time in the gym and they really love it. So it makes my job as a coach easier, because again, I'm kind of asking them to leave at times, whereas I know sometimes if we're on the other end of things begging guys to stay, that's not a great place to be. So
Your expectation is pretty high then.
yeah, I mean, I think so. Coming off of last year, we finished off at 12-13 once we lost in that regional. But just how everything came together last year, and we returning the pieces we do, I think we've got every opportunity to have a really good season. And what we've really talked to the boys about as well is, we won a sectional now. So last year when I was coming here talking to you guys at the start of last season, I'm sure I was saying, hey, we got Rensselaer and Carroll who had won sectionals the year before, 1 and 2 on our schedule. This year we're the team that's won a sectional, and Carroll did as well. Rensselaer made it to the championship game. So I've just explained to the guys how we were talking to you last year about these teams with, this is a team we need to go against. They won a sectional. It's a measuring stick. Other teams are going to use us as a measuring stick now. So we've just, explained to them the expectations have to raise, and they've really bought into it. They're working their tails off in practice. We've had some really intense practices, and, JV guys going after varsity guys. It's been competitive, and we've just told them, hey, this is just going to make us better. So, yeah, we've got decently high expectations. At the end of the day, as long as we keep improving and we do, we look like the best team that we can be at the end of the day, whatever happens, I'll be thrilled.
5-2 in the Midwest Conference last year.
Yeah.
1 game behind North Newton. What's the conference shape up to this year?
I think it's going to be pretty competitive. We mentioned North Newton. They lost a lot of seniors, but they still have Evan Gagnon, who's an incredible player. As far as this year in the conference, he's got to be at the top of the list of guys that are returning. Other teams that are still going to be really good. Faith Christian maybe not finish as high as you would have thought they would, but I just know the talent they have on that team, and they bring a lot of those guys back. They've got a lot of potential. DeMont's always a tough out as well. Frontier, Trent Fagley moving over there from the Rensselaer JV. I know he's going to have those guys fired up, ready to play as well, and West Central too. I just think a lot of these teams, they're going to be really good. They're going to continue to improve, and I think we deserve to be close to the top of that list. But kind of like I said, I also understand we're going to kind of be the hunted this year to some degree, and we're going to get every team's best shot. So we just got to be ready to play at the end of the day.
When do you open up, and tell us about that?
So we open up the day after Thanksgiving. We'll be up here at Rensselaer. So
game you can see right here on 3KG.
There we go.
Looking forward to that one. That's always a classic.
Yeah, it is. And, again, it's one of those games that it's kind of a sneaky rivalry, it being just such close proximity. A lot of these kids know each other,
You'll be at Rensselaer next Tuesday, too, won't you?
Yeah, I will. I'll be there. So that's kind of a nice thing. We used to play KV on that Tuesday,
right,
and we don't anymore, but now Rensselaer does. So, we kind of flipped the script. And I always remember looking up and seeing Rensselaer in the stands, and now Rensselaer can look up and see us sitting in the stands. So we kind of flipped it on them.
Coaching staff?
So most of the same guys and gal that I had last year. So we still got, as far as varsity assistants, I still have Andrea Grettencourt on the bench with me, and she's really helpful, really knowledgeable. She's coming off a big volleyball season. They won the sectional too with the volleyball team. So
Tri-County becoming a sectional.
Yeah, that's what we want, right?
Sectional ground for girls basketball, boys basketball.
Yeah.
Softball, they won the conference, I think, did they, or did they not?
They got a share of it, absolutely. Yeah. Both track teams, boys and girls, won the conference, and I'll be biased there. We also got second in the sectional, which was pretty good.
You do that, do you know?
Yeah, I do. So, we've had a lot of success. We've just got really good athletes in both the guys and the girls side right now, and again, they work really hard. I get to be around a lot of those same girls that Missy has right now, and Andrea coached in the fall, and they're incredible. So, besides Andrea, I still have Chad Burns as well. And then Paul Brooks kind of moved over. He was my JV coach last year, but now he's a varsity assistant. So then filling in as the JV coach, I say filling in, he's taking it over and he's doing incredible, is Bryce Cook. So another Tri-County name that, played not too long ago. And then filling in for the C team coach, we've got Rudy Tallman. So just a lot of guys who've been around the program and, know what they're doing. I mean, I'm really blessed to have a really incredible coaching staff.
Ryan, thanks for coming over. Appreciate it. We will not meet next Wednesday for the Thanksgiving
Alrighty.
break, but we'll see you next Friday, okay?
Yep, sounds great.
Ryan Arrington from the Tri-County Cavaliers, back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Welcome back to the Coach's Kage Show on 3KG, thekage.com. Bob Kurtz and Bill Kay and Scotty Miller with you tonight. And, Bill, it's always a pleasure to welcome in new people to our show.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Appreciate Daniel Jakes, the North White assistant boys basketball coach, stopping by. I know, first of all, thanks for coming down. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Doing good. Before we get talking about North White, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, from Delphi, Indiana. Grew up, graduated in 2017. Been around the area for all of my life. Moved to Pittsburgh for a little bit this past summer. Moved back and was very thankful for Coach Smith to get me on his staff. So very excited to get the season going next week.
All right. Well, tell us. You have the record. Well, of course, you got the record from last year. Tell us about that. Then, how many seniors were off that team?
Yeah, so 7-17 team last year. Lost 5 seniors, but pretty excited for the nucleus that we got back. We got some great guys, great leaders, and we're pretty excited to get going.
How many guys you have out for the team?
We we got 20 guys total.
That's good, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So will you have a JV and C team?
I believe that's what we're looking at doing. We're trying to get the numbers situated there, and we're hopeful to have a JV, C team, and varsity. So
what's the C? Is C team a mixture of freshmen and sophomores?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, tell us how the preseason practices have been going so far this year.
They've been great. We've got guys coming in, competing, working hard, very vocal. We've got the trio of the Hood brothers and Dane, Chandler, and Brendan. Brendan coming back from a torn ACL last year, so we're kind of excited to get him back up and going. And we got some great leaders in our junior class: Braylon Sipkema, Chris Annis, and Fernando Perez Gomez. So we're pretty excited for that nucleus there, and I think they bring a lot to the table.
Guess we should say we got a new head coach. Matt Sipkema stepped down to be an administrator.
Yep.
So tell us who the new coach is, a little bit about him.
Coach Smith, Coach Joe Smith, been around the area for a little while, like myself, a little bit longer than me.
I remember him from his days at North Newton.
Yeah, yep. He was my varsity assistant when I was at Delphi playing, and was at Delphi, Clinton Central, Frontier, North White. You know, he's got a ton of experience, and I've just been very thankful to get to learn from him. So.
Is it hard, new coaching staff coming in to learn the players and the players to learn you guys?
I think it's a journey on both ends. You know, it's not always sunshine and rainbows, but you know, the kids are great kids. They come in ready to learn and they're focused. They come in willing to compete, and you know, we're pretty excited.
How long did it take you to learn their names?
You know, it took me a little while. I'm not the best with names to begin with, so it took me a little while. I'm still learning a few of them, so we're
Bob
getting
and
there.
Bill here. So.
What kind of a team will the Vikings be? Run and gun? Zone defense? What do you guys looking at?
I think we hope to play a little bit of both man and zone. You know, Coach Smith, when we talk to the kids, we want to get up and down. We want to score points. But you know, sometimes scouting report doesn't.
No more BJ's Fried.
So sometimes the scouting report doesn't apply for that. So I think our kids are pretty smart. I think we're pretty excited with where they are in terms of what we're wanting out of them. So we're pretty excited.
What do you guys open up with?
So we open up with North Miami next Tuesday, I believe. North Miami brings back their stud from last season. So we lost a close game to them last year, and you know, we kind of hope to get them back this year.
And give us a little preview of the Midwest Conference. What do you think?
Man, Midwest Conference is tough. Frontier has a good nucleus. I got to coach them a little while when I was there. Faith Christian. They bring back a good nucleus with the Peter twins and Connor Dawson and those guys. So, I mean, the conference is tough, and we hope to, you know, we hope to get better every day. But at the end of the day, I hope that we're up there with them.
Fill us in on the coaching staff. There's all new, or is it leftover?
So I believe that Coach Ron Brockovich was still there last year. Coach Smith was the varsity assistant last year, just moved up to the head coach, and then I believe I'm the only newbie.
Oh.
So.
Well, good. So, are you ready for the season, or you still need some time?
I think anybody getting goosebumps about the season to start. I think that's the only thing that you should be excited for. Getting the season started, new season. You should always be excited. So I think we're kind of ready to play some new people, not just practice guys.
Just have one game next week, or you have two?
We play Delphi Saturday at North White as well, I believe. So
how's that going to feel to you?
Oh man, it's always great. It's always great seeing some kids that I knew growing up, and most of them are kind of a little bit older. They don't know who I am, but I know some of them. So it's always exciting getting to see those familiar faces.
Will the Vikes have much height on your squad this year?
I believe we've got some decent length with Dane Hood, kind of our guy, kind of our go-to. Fernando brings some good length. He's always versatile, athletic. Chandler, big, long. So I think that we
sounds like enough.
We bring some size. So.
Daniel, we appreciate you coming over and look forward to talking to you each week. Not next week. We won't be here next week. So have a good week, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks from now, okay?
Yeah,
sounds
good
great.
Luck getting out of the gates, man.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Daniel Jakes from the North White Vikings, back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning, family owned since 1991.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Every day you listen to the news, but how is that news affecting your financial world? Things like your retirement and your kids' college fund. You need someone who can help you work towards your goals. Someone to help you move forward in the times of change. Call Mindy Byer at Morgan Stanley. Mindy has 20 years of experience as a financial advisor, and she's right here in Northwest Indiana. To make an appointment with Mindy Byer, call 765-420-8433. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
And welcome back to the Coach's Cage Show on 3kgthecage.com. I'm Bob Kurtz along with Bill Kay and Scotty Miller. We're at Arnie's in Rensselaer here every Wednesday, except next Wednesday. We will not be here next Wednesday, so because of Thanksgiving. And, Billy, we go back a long year, a lot of years with this guy in the microphone. Glad to see him back in the coaching profession. It's Brad Odom. Brad, good to see you. It's been 7 or 8, 9 years, hasn't it?
It's been a minute, guys. It's been a minute.
So did you coach at all during that time or no?
No. My son, when I resigned, was it back in 2015?
Whoa!
I think my son was 3, so we were chasing him around.
Oh my goodness!
And he decided he wanted to play basketball about a year and a half ago. So he joined a youth league program, and we went and watched him a couple of games. He joined a little late. And then last year, as a 5th grader, he was really interested and wanted to play. So we went ahead and had to move him up into 6th grade because our numbers were a little low on the 6th grade team. And I started helping, and then eventually I kind of took over the reins. And at that point in time,
got the bug, didn't you?
Yeah. We started going to varsity games, and he got pretty excited. And you know, you never lose the drive, you never lose the passion. But it'd been a while since I'd been in a gym, and once you get back in the gym, you realize that that's just who you are. You know, you never get away from it totally. So getting back into it, we decided when the job opened up at West Central, it was time. So I'm excited to be back. I think the boys are really excited to be back. We've had a pretty good week and a half or so of work. And it's time to see what we can do.
You had some great success as a Lady Trojan program, right?
Yeah, we got 2 sectional titles in 3 years. Got beat in overtime in a sectional final in the 3rd year. Went 50-20. Had a really good run.
Outstanding. Wow.
So you know that's our goal. Our goal here, you know, as we talk to the boys, is we want to find a way to be competitive right out of the gate, and then also find a way to build our youth program and establish some, you know, long-term success for the program. You know, we've got 39 kids coming to a youth program starting in 2nd grade, so 2nd through 5. So we've got decent numbers at the bottom now, and then it's just a matter of let's get that work put in and let's get back to where we want to be.
What are the numbers like for the high school program?
I've got 22 right now. So
that seems to be the number for everybody. 20 to 22 so
yeah,
far.
We've got a couple grades that are pretty heavy. You know, our junior class is pretty heavy. I think we have 8 there, and then we've got 9 in our freshman class. So you know, you look to build around those classes and then hopefully stack a few behind them and find a way to have some you know, long-term success.
Brad, I see the Trojans were 9-15 last year, but 2 real back-to-back successful football seasons. Does that kind of carry over a little bit into the basketball, where the kids remain excited about, you know, getting out there and participating, winning?
Well, you hope so. You know, we've got 5 kids that came to us after the football season was over, and they're ultra competitive. You know, they're good leaders. Connor Marlatt, the quarterback, phenomenal leader. You know, he's a smart kid. He does a great job of motivating others. Austin Boland's a great leader as well. Jaden Miller, as a junior, is a blue-collar kid. He works his tail off every day. Addison Huber's quick, you know, as he's going to learn and get a little more varsity time this year. So we have a variety of kids that are coming to us from the football program that are going to help, hopefully, add a little toughness, you know, and increase our skill ability, and then let's see what we can do.
What are your expectations for your team this year?
You know, I told him it doesn't matter where we start; it matters where we finish. But ultimately, you play this game to play in the biggest moments. So you want to challenge for a sectional, you want to challenge for a conference, and then any tournament you play, you want to get to the end of it. So we've got a holiday tournament at South Central, and we want to make sure that hopefully we find a way to get to that, and then build that excitement. You know, if you're winning conference games and you're winning games at home, then more and more people are going to kind of want to see what's going on, and they'll get excited, and that's really our goal. Starting next Tuesday night with Oregon Davis, we've got to find a way to kind of rally our community back around the basketball program and get people excited about the brand we're going to put on the floor.
What kind of style are you going to play when you're the Brad Odom style?
I think you know what we're going to do. We're going to be up tempo. We're going to press and trap, and we're going to get after people. You know, whether we have the right numbers or the right kids in those spots right now, you know, it's about building some confidence in that style and logging some minutes in it. We're going to play a lot of kids. Our JV's going to play a lot of kids, and we got to develop some talent. And the only way you do that is to play at a speed that maybe they struggle with a little bit early, but the faster you get to varsity speed, the quicker you build your ability to play the game. And I'm sorry, I told the kids, you know, I'm a little aggressive, I'm a little annoying, and they're going to have to be just like me.
I like that. Let's talk about the Midwest Conference. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I would imagine most of this is going to run around Caston and Tri-County. They've had some success in the last few years. You know, I know Caston's coach from the girls' side. Tri-County was really solid last year and made a nice little run at the end of sectional. So, I'm assuming with those guys that have had some success the last few years, that things are going to run through them. I'm new to it, so I was always familiar with the girls' side, and now I'm starting to learn a little bit more about the boys' side. So,
where is your sectional at this year?
It's at Caston.
Caston.
Yeah.
Oh, why do you ask that? Everything's always at Caston.
Yeah. If it's not a sectional, it's a girls' regional.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly. Coaching staff, or who you got this year?
Ben Gudis, he was on the staff last year. He's going to be my JV coach, and then Scott Owens is my varsity assistant, and then some guys at the younger levels that have helped out for a couple of years. So it's nice to get some guys in the community involved because they had success as players, and I think that'll help build it the way that we want it to get done.
Sounds like you're anxious to get back in it here, aren't you?
It's time. It's just time. You practice against each other for a week and a half, and you need somebody else. So we scrimmage tomorrow night against South Newton.
Yeah. Now you guys scrimmage a little different, right? The Midwest Conference comes together. Is that right?
Not anymore.
Oh, not anymore. Okay.
So last year I think they did something like a jamboree.
Yeah.
And this year we're back to a traditional scrimmage.
Just one against one team.
Yeah.
Okay.
So South Newton's coming our way, and we're going to do 4 varsity quarters and a JV quarter, and see what we can do.
Can you learn anything from that?
Oh, absolutely. I think the more kids you get involved in a scrimmage, the better. The better you're going to understand. Here are some of the things maybe we thought we're going to be strong in, and maybe we struggled. Or here are some things we thought maybe were weaknesses, and we're a lot better because you're not practicing against the same kids all the time. Kids have a tendency to maybe cheat a drill or cheat a play because they've seen it for a couple of days, and we'll get an honest look, and then we'll know what we need to address before Tuesday when we play Oregon Davis.
Any more games next week besides the one or not?
No. We've got Oregon Davis on Tuesday, and then we've got a week later we'll play Culver.
All right. Looks like you're going to be pretty young.
Well, we honestly have 8 guys coming back, so they're going to play some different roles.
How many of those are seniors?
We have 4 seniors.
4 seniors.
Yeah. So we lost our varsity starting point guard. Aiden White was a very good general on the floor.
Familiar name. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good ball handler. He was a good scorer. And so we're going to have some kids going to step in and fill that void. But I think we have the right kids to be able to do that. When you play fast, it's not just about one kid being able to handle the ball. It's a variety of kids. So we're going to get out. We're going to push the tempo, and kids that maybe haven't had the opportunity to show their skills and play with the ball in their hands are going to be able to do that.
Brad, always good to see you again. Glad you're back in the ranks of head coach, and glad you're coming over here every week. We really do appreciate that. Look forward to seeing you in person sometime during the season, and look forward to talking to you each week here, all right?
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Coach.
Brad Odom from the West Central Trojans. Back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza, and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our number one priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the Coach's Cage. Bob Kurtz, Bill Kay, Scotty Miller with you tonight. Wes Radke has joined us from the Rensselaer Central Lady Bombers. Are off to a flying start. Wes, you got it cooking so far.
Yeah, right now everything is working out and going in our favor. 8 years I've been here, and we've been 5-0 before, but never 6-0 like this. So we are looking forward to Friday night playing against BC, and we're looking forward to that challenge.
Let's go back and talk about the 3 games you played since we last talked, and the game you saw on 3KG. You kind of took it to Tri-County.
Yeah, we go to Tri-County, and one of the road trips, many road trips we had taken so far this year, and so we go over to Tri-County, and they're 1A sectional champ from last year, and doing a lot of good things. And Missy had her team ready to go. We were sure of it. We got off the bus, and we didn't want them to get any kind of momentum, any kind of fire going with themselves being at home against us. So we came out right away swinging and took advantage of that and came out that first half. And the first half we scored 27 to their 8, and really never looked back after that. Just kept the pressure up, kept doing what we normally do, and ended up winning 72-30.
Drone with, 3 3-pointers in the first quarter?
Yeah, she had 3 threes in the first quarter there alone. Just it was one of those nights where she was feeling it, and when she feels it, she can fill it up quick.
And she was open, too.
Yeah, and when you leave her open, you give her a little bit of confidence, and that's the one thing with that kid. When she starts getting confidence, it could be deadly for whoever's trying to guard her or match up and find where she's at, because she can fill it pretty fast, and she did that night. She ended up with 4 threes that night, and just really played an outstanding ball game.
Who else played well for you?
In that game we had 4 girls in double figures, and some that were getting really close to that, and everybody scored in the game. Drone had 14, Van Meter Taylor had 12, Kaufman had 13, and Roland had 15, and then again there were several other players that just came in and did a lot of nice things for us. Everybody contributed in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes they contributed by fouling, and we got to continue to work on that. But nevertheless, they came in and did some good things. Both of my daughters came in and scored. Bailey scored, Brody scored, and Courtney Matthew, a freshman, came in and gave us some good minutes. And Cadence Manns, that game she wasn't hitting necessarily the best like she had been, but she had 6 points and was really an integral part of what we do on defense and really setting the tone. And again, Jesse Fleming coming off the bench and giving us a good spark with Brooke Keipke. They all did a nice job that night. And then, again, I throw another freshman in that game, and Olivia Kane, and everybody just did a really nice job.
Not only 6-0, but you're averaging 62.3 points a game and only giving up 29. That's got to be a success there, man.
Yeah, and, you look at last night's game with Harrison, and that was just a dogfight back and forth. And we didn't shoot the ball well as we had been previously. And, I think some of that was just us playing a little bit tight and trying to understand that we got to let loose still. We still got to play at our potential. So those 62 points, that's, I really truly believe we can average more than that, and the girls believe that as well. The defensive average, that's something we're priding ourselves on this year to really work on keeping that in the low 20s like that or high 30s and just really trying that. And that's quite an accomplishment when you are talking a varsity schedule and the teams we play against. So we're going to have our work cut out for us next couple of games.
And you had a home game finally Saturday,
Finally got a chance. Finally, the Bombers have come back to Joe Burvin Gymnasium.
Did it feel different?
It was nice. It was nice not to have to get on a bus that was cold and ride back. And so, we were getting ready to go back home and play against Knox, who, in the previous years, we get them a few years and they get us a few years. And so we went back and forth the past couple of years. But this year, we came out and really just the girls were doing great things. Sarah Kaufman was just a beast out there. She was all over the place. I think here at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 points in the first quarter.
For Kaufman?
For Kaufman.
Holy cow.
Yeah, she was just, like I said, a beast out there on the defensive end. She was all over the place, tipping the ball, stealing the ball, running out, getting layups, taking the ball in the hole. She was a woman on a mission there and really did a nice job. And Roland, again, as well, she had 6 in that quarter. So between the two of them, they outscored Knox, who only had 2, 4, 5 points, I think, in that first quarter. So, again, we were clicking really well. It was 18-5 after the first quarter. And again, never looked back. Taylor then the second half just picks up where Kaufman was at, and they just start feeding off each other. And we just start pulling away even more, end up winning 69-18. In a game where, again, everybody got in, everybody contributed, everybody did something positive and made a big difference. I thought we played well as a team and as a unit, both offensively and defensively. We really moved the ball around well in that game. Van Meter ended up with 16, Kaufman with 17, Roland with 15, and then Brody had 7, and the rest of them kind of chipped in points here or there. But it was just a great overall game for us, and felt good to be able to get a win against the Redskins and avenge some of the losses, maybe, if you want to look at it that way, of some things that happened to us in the past when we played them. And 69-18 was a good game for us.
Back to your tournament, who's in the other bracket still alive?
So on the other side of the bracket is Lafayette Central Catholic will play West Lafayette. And so we'll play the winner of that game for the championship. If we don't get where we want to be, then we play the loser of that game. So
either way, it's going
to be tough. Either way, we got to do it. But we're up for it.
4 quality teams.
Oh yeah, and when you look at our conference, when you look at the rankings, not that I put much into rankings, but when you look at the quality of teams and the amount of basketball that's in this tournament and in our conference, it's tough, and it's what we're built for. It's what we've been working towards. So we're looking forward to the challenge on Friday night, and that's the first thing we got to take care of. We got to take care of the game against BC before we can look to Saturday or anything else. And so we do definitely have our work cut out for us. BC didn't lose anybody. They lost one player from last year. They had one senior, so they brought everybody back as well. So it's going to be a good challenge for us. They got us in sectional last year by 3 in a hard-fought game at their place. So the girls are hungry and wanting to get back at it.
Who else is setting the tone defensively? Did we mention them all already? Or?
Well, between Cadence and Sarah, the senior leadership on the floor with those two, they really set the tone of what's going to happen. And then a kid like Taylor Van Meter, who has the length and the speed and athleticism of a player that you don't get every once in a while as a coach, and she really helps with that motor. And then, again, a girl like Cameron Rowland, who communicates well and talks, and all of that combined with who we have coming on the floor, whether it's Brody or whether it's Courtney Matthew coming on with her athleticism, they all just kind of feed off of each other. And it usually takes 1 or 2 of them that you can tell that they're into what's happening, and we're reading, and just they feed off each other so well that it's hard to pinpoint one exact person who's the key figure in the entire thing.
I see you ranked 13th in the polls this week.
Yeah, I mean, those are just people's opinions on what they are, and we try to stay away from that stuff as much as possible. Just the fact of we're on a mission of what we have to do and have to get done, and it starts with one game at a time. And when you do the right things, good things happen and people notice those.
Well, tell us about the Harrison game last night.
So Harrison, we had played them the last time we were 5-0 when Morgan Van Meter and Jesse Ringen and Avery Kane and them were juniors. We had played them, and we went into that game, 5-0, feeling pretty good about ourselves, and then Harrison's there, and we just didn't respond well. We didn't handle their pressure well, and so they ended up getting us. So going into last night, we felt pretty good about our matchups. We felt pretty good about what we were going to be able to do against Harrison. It wasn't a real pretty game, I'll be honest with you. For those that were there watching, it was not pretty at times. I mean, we really struggled. We were getting looks. Things weren't falling for us. Taylor wasn't feeling the best and kind of struggled, so we had to have some other people come in. Cameron Rowland played really well. We got into some foul trouble, which I know is a shocker for some people, but we got into foul trouble, so Brody had to come in and play some key roles for us because Taylor was on the bench with fouls, and then Cameron Rowland got into foul trouble, so I throw the freshman out there and Courtney Matthew and then also Jesse Fleming, throwing them in there to try to help out, and we actually held our own pretty good. We responded. We played great defense. I mean, there was times we're playing defense for 2.5, 3 minutes, and everybody in the stands kind of like quiet. I'm the only one clapping. I'm like, that's phenomenal. That's 3 minutes. We're up. We're playing defense. I'll take that all day long. If they can't score, then that's what we're doing our job. So we really saw some good things out there, but again, kind of got a little bit sloppy with turnovers and things back and forth, and then fouls come into play, and we're fouling them. We're getting a good lead, and then we start fouling and then putting them to the free throw line. And this is where that new rule for us pulls my hair out because they get the 5 and then they're shooting 2 fouls instead of the 1-on-1.
Right.
And they miss. We get a chance to get the rebound. Now they get a chance to at least get 1 point. And so I tried to show the girls that if we come down and get nothing and they go down and get 1 point, before you know it, there's a 5-6 point swing and we got nothing. So we really had to start taking care of things there and clean the game up for us the second half, and we did. We came out the second half, and Cadence hits a 3, Courtney Matthews hits a 3. They would come down and give us their best shots. Boom, we come down and answer again. Drone hits 2 big threes in the fourth quarter to really extend it on us, and again they came roaring back again. They're going to give us everything they have, and what won it for us was the fact that we stepped up to the free throw line, and they had to start fouling us, and we put it away at the free throw line, and which was nice to be able to do, and came out with a 48-42 win against a Harrison team that had beat us in the past, and they're a 4A school, and they play a tough schedule, and for us to go in there and beat them on their home floor, it was a good win for us.
Have you shot free throws that good all throughout the first 6 games?
Actually, yeah, we had, and we shot 48% in that game, and we still won. And that's why I tried to tell the girls, I said, against really, really good teams, we have to be able to hit 75-80% of our free throws to win games, because if we don't, we end up losing the games. And so but the fourth quarter, we were spot on with the free throws when they needed to be to extend our leads and do the things we need to do. And again, we had some foul trouble. I had girls that had to step in and do some good things. And then I had girls, Taylor and Camry both had to learn how to play with 4 fouls without fouling out, and they did. So those are valuable things we had to learn, and I think the girls are taken away from the fact of if you foul and I'm not saying no kid can't foul. I'm saying that we don't foul. But we have to limit those fouls where we're just 90 feet away from, or 50 feet away from the basket at that point in time. Just understand the game and where you're at in the position and what's going on. And so we're starting to get a little bit better at that.
Coach, how's your junior varsity doing in the early going here?
So they've lost the last two games, to Knox in a real barn burner there that shouldn't have gotten to that point. But they fought hard, and we ended up losing that one. And then we played Harrison's JV, and again, it just came down to knocking down some open shots and some free throws, and we let that one slip away too. But they're 4-2 right now. They're playing hard. They're doing what Coach Van Meter wants them to. They, everybody else has got 12, 15 girls on their bench for a JV. We've got the 7, and those 7, Matthew only plays 2 quarters of JV, and the rest of the time, I have her for varsity, and so it's a lot to ask them, but they're getting a lot of valuable time. They're learning a lot of things. They're playing hard, so they're continuing to get a whole lot better.
We didn't go over the leading scores, did we, from last night?
No, last night Drone had 14, Rowan had 13, and again, Courtney Matthews came in and hit the 2 threes for us. She had 6. Cadence had 5. Van Meter, she struggled, like I said. She had 4, but those 4 were 4 big points that we needed at certain times, and so she stepped up. And then, Brody came in and hit a couple shots there, and she ended up with 2 points. So we did a nice job. And again, we're really trying to share the wealth as much as possible. So you can't just key on one girl. That we can have somebody else always stepping up all night long and doing things. And so it's a work in progress that hopefully by the time sectional rolls around, we'll be, like a well-oiled machine working good.
Friday
we got to play BC.
You haven't had much luck against them.
No, we've never beaten them, and we're looking to break that, get the monkey off our back. We're really hoping that we can get that done, and that's where we stand at. The girls believe it. They think they know they can get it done. And, we as a coaching staff are trying to give them every opportunity and everything we can to get them prepared for that on Friday night, because I think it's going to be a good atmosphere. I think
Where's it at?
It's at Harrison.
At Harrison.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good atmosphere. I think both school systems are going to have a good crowd. We're coming in 6-0. They're coming in 3-0 right now, and we all got to lace them up the same way. We just got to get after it. And
what's the key to the
I think really for us is just the mental part of the game. And I know everybody out there watches like, well, no duh. But when you look at the mental part of a basketball game, especially when you're talking high school kids, we have to limit those mental mistakes and not let them overwhelm us. And realize you're going to make a mistake. We all make mistakes. But we can't sit and dwell on them over and over again. You can't change that mistake. We got to look forward. If you sit back and you dwell upon that mistake, all the energy that you should be using for the next thing, you've wasted on that. And you can't change it. We just got to learn from it and move on. So that's going to be the biggest thing right now for us. Physically wise, I think we're a great matchup. I think we're in good shape there. It's just the mental side of this game right now we have to continue to fine-tune and continue to grow at.
All right, Wes, thanks for coming in. Now, we will not be here next week, okay? So
what?
Bill demanded time off.
So I'm going to come here and sit by myself and look out the window.
You can.
Nobody to talk to.
All right.
That means my wife is going to get a chance to see me more.
That's
that
right.
could be trouble.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay. All right,
we'll see it. We're doing the Twin Lakes game
okay.
on a Monday night game.
A Monday night game.
Sunday practice, I guess, huh?
Don't tell anybody.
No. Wes, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanksgiving.
All right.
You too, Coach.
All right.
Wes Radke from the Rensselaer Central Lady Bombers, back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Scotty Miller controlling things behind the scenes. Bill K to my far side over there. I'm Bob Kurtz, one of our favorites stopping by now. Ricky Monemeyer from the South Newton Rebels. Ricky, good to see you again. How you been?
Great. It's basketball season now, right?
That's right.
Yep.
And the gang's all getting back together
We're
here
ready
on
to
Wednesday
go.
night. So takes a little back to last year, your record and how many people you lost.
Okay. Last year was not what we wanted it to be. We finished 2-21. We dealt with a lot of off-the-court stuff last year. We had one of our best kids get injured for the season. So we lost him, I think, January 3rd is when he got injured. So that was the Beecher game. And then he fully tore his knee January 7th against North White.
Yeah, we were there for that. That was awful.
I think his leg touched the back of his head from behind him somehow. I don't know how. But no, it was a tough year. It was a learning experience year for a lot of us. It was my first year varsity coach. 2 of my assistants, it was their first year coaching high school level basketball.
What was the thing you most learned about last year from you?
Just like a learning lesson for me, like in general last year?
Yeah. What was the lesson you learned?
So it's one that I think about often, but you think about it more as a basketball coach. Like, worry about what you can control. Sometimes you're like wanting to figure out solutions for everything, and you can't always do that. There's a lot more that goes into just the coaching part of it than people realize. So finding that balance between, working on our basketball stuff, coordinating stuff outside of basketball, teaching. I was going to school for my master's last year, so there was a lot of stuff all at once. It slowed down this year. I think that's helped. Having a full summer, knowing that this is the program kind of thing, this is our program, that helped. But just kind of looking at the big picture of things instead of pressing on the little things day to day. That helped a lot. I think just mindset-wise, it's kind of shifted thinking a little bit. But yeah, last year, struggle. We never really caught a groove until I think really the end of the year. We had a couple close games, through the season. But for the most part, we struggled scoring, we struggled defending. Mindset, a lot of the kids were kind of checked out with things that are going on outside of basketball. It was a long season. It felt like 3 seasons in one last year just with everything that was going on. And we're just hoping that this year, we come out healthy, the kids just play hard and compete. And it's a different feeling this year going in, I think. I think we're a little more confident. I think we understand the offensive stuff a little better. Each year we have an in-house scrimmage this Saturday, the first week of the season. I was telling the parents at the parent meeting this year, I think we are so much further along this year than we were last year. just with offenses and progression and guys knowing their roles and that kind of stuff. So that has helped tremendously. I'm hoping that's a good direction to start this year, and we're, coming out firing rather than taking a few. Like, we played well the first game last year, but we played a couple tough teams, and then we played down to some opponents, and I'm just hoping it's a little more consistent this year.
How many seniors did you lose off of last year's team?
Last year we had 6 seniors, 3 of those being pretty good players for us. Connor Latta was, if you take out Chase off the top of our scoring leaders there, 'cause he only played 8 games. Connor Latta led us in scoring last year as a senior, and then Hayden Basewick was 3rd, and then Corbin Cruz was a 3-year starter that is no longer here. Not much of a scorer. He increased his scoring last year, but he was our guy. Like, you're defending the best team's player. Like, that's your role every night, and he took that in stride, loved it. That's what he wanted to do. So we're going to miss that part of the game for us, not having him on the floor. It's going to be different, trying to adjust everything, but we're getting there. I think we got guys that are bought in. We've got some younger guys this year that will be stepping up into bigger roles, so pretty excited.
Take us through some of the key players for your team.
So Chase Stillbauer's back. He
healthy?
Healthy.
All right.
That's good.
He came back. I'm trying to think if he came back first game of the football season or was second. I think it was second. A little too early. He took some hits in that game, and he's just like, it's just not 100% yet. So he took, I think, 4 or 5 weeks off. Ended up coming back for those last 4 or 5 games of football, and he ended up playing pretty good minutes. Mostly offense, occasional defense, but just getting back in the flow of things, allowing him to run around and do kind of what he did last year as I think it was honorable mention all conference for football. Getting back into that form helped him with confidence, and then since practice has started, he's been our leader. He's been our vocal guy in the locker room. He's looked good on the basketball court. We're just got to see, game speed, how he looks against other teams, because you can always look really good in practice, but once you get to a live thing with different team, it's always different. So he's one coming back we're very excited about. Luke Hoskins, our big guy inside, he's back. He averaged 4.5 a game last year and 4 boards, but he split a lot of time with Basewick, so it was hard to keep them on the floor together unless we were running a big lineup. So he's going to be our focal guy inside this year. And then we have another senior, Carlos Lopez. He did not play varsity at all last year. Last year was actually his first year playing. He's progressed tremendously over the last year. He'll be kind of a role guy for us as a senior. But we're excited about his progression and growth, and hopefully he can be, a good piece for us off the bench this year. I've got 2 good sophomores. One was Matthew Armstrong. He came up last year around, I can't remember if that was in January. He started his first game against North Miami, and that was our first win last year. But he was playing varsity that whole month before, here and there. He's a good piece for us. He progressed a lot over the summer, played a lot of basketball. He did some AAU stuff. So he's gotten a lot better. And then Dominic Scott's the other sophomore, gotten a lot better this year. They're both rolled along kids, full of energy. They don't talk a whole lot. Very, very quiet kids, but love basketball. They're 2 that lead by example more than they do vocally. And, we're very excited for them. Lucas Bogusky is another one that played quite a bit of minutes for us last year. I think he started most of the second half for us. He's back, good football kid. Very fast, developed a good shot. Scoring's improved this over the summer, and we're very excited for his development and potential this year as well.
Coach, how important is it to get a good start on this season? Couple knocked on, maybe a couple wins before the calendar turns
I think
over.
it's very important. If you look at our schedule, I think we've got 9 games before the break. So before New Year's, we're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 on there, but I think we have 8 or 9 games before break. So there's quite a bit of basketball before that. I think it's very important to get off to a good start. Riverton Park's going to be a good one to start with. They had 9 seniors last year, and I think they returned 1 kid that averaged 9 a game. The rest of their varsity will be JV kids from last year's team. We lost to them JV-wise last year, but we had a very inexperienced JV team to start the year. I think it's a good game for us to open the gate. They have to come to us this year. It's a little over, I think it's an hour 20, hour 30 away. It's a drive. So if we can open up with a win there, we can build some confidence. Seeger finally graduated a couple of their really good players, so that should be more competitive for us. And then Delphi with Coach Callie down at Delphi, they'll be pretty tough. And then we go right into conference play, right? We've got West Central. Should be a competitive game. They've got a new coach, new system. They still got Naniga back, so they'll be decent, I expect. They'll play hard just like they always do. But yeah, and then we got Watsika, I think, that's not on there, and then next week you got Rensselaer, which I think you guys said you'll be at that one. Rensselaer will be another tough one. They always are. But I think it's very important to get off to a good start. We have to, if we're not winning games, we at least have to be competitive. I think that's the big thing.
You got great numbers for this year's team.
We do. We started out with, I think, 30, 31 that came to the call-out. I think after we made a cut, we were down to like 29, and then lost a couple kids this week, just didn't want to play. So we're down to like 27, 26 area. So it's good numbers for a 1A school, right? We can run a C team, we can run a full JV, full varsity. So it's nice. It's a good problem to have.
Coaching staff, where are we?
Same guys from last year. The only one that's not back is Coach Miller. Coach Miller's son moved back to the Chicagoland area. He's spending a lot of time with him and grandkids and that kind of thing. So he's been coaching forever. He became pretty close, confidant about everything. I was able to go to him for advice and stuff because he's been doing it forever. He saw how Coach Hall did it. He saw how other coaches did it. So he's gone, but he's going to help us out in some capacity with some scouting and watching film for us. Coach Robbins, Kyle Robbins, he's back. He was varsity assistant last year. He'll do the same role this year. Great guy, knows basketball, loves basketball. Kids love him. Good guy to have on our bench. And then our JV coach is Tim Taylor again, and then our freshman coach is Nick Buckley. So same coaching staff.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a comfort thing. We've grown as coaches. They've gotten better at what they do. They made it a point to improve on coaching over the off season, and I think that's important. It's allowed us to do different things and allow them to take a more hands-on approach with coaching things this year, which is real nice.
Expectations for your club?
Be competitive, everything we do. I think you look at our sectional, Tri-County should be very good again. They return pretty much everybody besides a couple kids, right? Sectional-wise, they've got to be the favorite. They won the sectional last year. But I think if we
putting a bullseye right in their back, aren't you?
I would, right? You gotta knock out the champs to be the champ kind of thing. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
But no, they've got a good program, great kids. They play hard. They play the basketball the right way. But no, we've got to. I think if we play our best basketball, if we're rolling into the season, anything can happen, right? You roll the ball out. That's why they, keep scores. So I think that we play our best basketball. We get our kids playing the right way. We get kids to buy in a little bit. I think we've got a good chance to compete, at least in the sectional this year. But, yeah, everything we do, we got to compete. And that's kind of the message we've been sending to the kids since last Monday when we started. We just got to compete at everything we do. And tomorrow we start our first scrimmage of the year. We're over at West Central.
Is there still a lot of excitement in the lower levels, little kids?
There is, yeah. Our sixth grade, I've been watching them for the last couple of weeks. They play a lot of their games from October 30th to December 6th, and their season's done. So they play I think 8 or 9 games within that time span. Very fun group to watch. They've got a good core 5 in that group that can handle the ball, pass, run the floor. It's pretty fun to watch at that level. Our 7th and 8th grade both should be very competitive. Our 7th grade's got a lot of bigger kids, a lot of length, a couple good guards in that grade, and then our 8th grade's got a couple that can really score the basketball. So middle school looks good. Our Blue Devil program, which is what we do through Kentland, that's our elementary age kids. There's good pieces in there too. I keep hearing things about pretty good 5th graders, a couple good 4th graders. So it's coming up. We just got to develop them and put them in the right system and figure out what works together, what pieces work together, and we'll go from there. But at a small school like ours, if you can pull 3 or 4 kids from each grade that are pretty good, that's pretty good.
Give us a preseason scout of the Midwest Conference.
Should be very competitive. I think between Tri-County, Faith Christian should be pretty good this year. I expect even North Newton lost a lot from last year's team. They should be very competitive. Gagnon was a double-double average last year. He's going to be tough to stop this year. Faith Christian lost a couple kids. Or not Faith Christian, sorry. DeMont Christian lost a couple kids, but same thing, very competitive. They play hard. They play the game the right way. A lot of coaching changes in the conference, right? So Frontier's got a new coach. West Central's got a new coach. North White, Faith Christian.
Wow.
So all 4 have new coaches this year. So that's interesting.
That is. And I didn't think about that.
So you guys, Trent, he's at Frontier.
Right.
I think he'll get them playing the right way. He's got a good system in place. I just think overall, like, our conference is on the up and up with basketball stuff. So
are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
You're ready.
It's basketball season.
Your team ready to go?
I hope so. We play tomorrow. They better be ready,
You'll
right?
find out. You'll learn something from that scrimmage or no?
Oh, yeah, always. We'll break down film and all that kind of stuff with the guys. But, yeah, that's the message, again, tomorrow is just compete in everything we do. We're not going to be perfect. We don't expect them to be the first scrimmage of the year. I am glad that it's back to the scrimmage format. Last year we played the Jamboree and did not like that format. I don't think any of the other coaches did either.
That's why it's a one-year deal.
Yeah, well, the reason being it was something money-wise. The reason, like, we got to waive some kind of fee doing the Jamboree, but I just didn't think there was enough time to assess anything or to implement anything in 2 8-minute quarters. We spent more time on a bus driving there and back than we did playing basketball. So it was fun. Like, you get to see, like, 4 teams there together and playing, but this format with back to the traditional scrimmage is going to be nice. We're able to work on more things. We're able to, play our JV. We're able to do that kind of thing, which is good.
Ricky, appreciate you coming over and talking a little Rebel basketball. We're not here next week, but every other Wednesday from the rest of the season is we're going to be here, and we'll be over doing some South Newton games too. So
awesome.
Good luck, all right?
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Coach.
Ricky Monemeyer from the South Newton Rebels back with more. The Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Every day you listen to the news, but how is that news affecting your financial world? Things like your retirement and your kids' college fund. You need someone who can help you work towards your goals. Someone to help you move forward in the times of change. Call Mindy Byer at Morgan Stanley. Mindy has 20 years of experience as a financial advisor, and she's right here in Northwest Indiana. To make an appointment with Mindy Byer, call 765-420-8433. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning, family owned since 1991.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Rolling on with the Coach's Cage show on 3kgthecage.com. We appreciate all the coaches coming in here and making it a festive evening here on Wednesday nights. Couldn't do it without them. And a regular every week, Billy Shepard from the Kankakee Valley Cougars has joined us. Good to see you again, Bill. How you doing?
Really good, Bob. Good to be back. It's it seems like just yesterday we were here, but time flies, and here we are again for another season. So looking forward to it.
Time flies faster.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that.
All right, let's go back to last year. What did you finish, and how many people did you lose?
Finished up 9-15 last year. And it was kind of we started slow. There's no doubt about that. We had a pretty good stretch in January, and then kind of up and down after that. But anyway, 9-15 was our final record last year. Lost to Hobart in the first round of sectionals, and up at Crown Point, and we lost 3 seniors off last year's team. Hayden Day is a starter. He was first team all conference for us last year. He was our starting center. Averaged about 9.5 points a game for us and about 8.5 boards a game. Lost Colton Pribble, our starting point guard. He was injured for about a month towards the end of the year, broken nose if you remember correctly. And we
came back with the mask.
Yes, came back with the mask. Yeah, so he was about 5.5 points a game, about 3 or 4 assists a game. So lost him, and then lost a bench player. Dylan Holmes was a senior, came off the bench for us last year. So those are the 3 guys we lost. We obviously losing anybody. You don't like to lose anybody. You get attached to the kids, and you want to keep them around forever. But
those guys put in a lot of minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. And but as high school coaches always happens when one group goes and another group is there waiting to come in, and so we're looking forward to seeing what the new guys got this year.
What's the numbers, and tell us a little bit about the preseason. How's it been going?
Actually, our numbers are pretty good. We have we've kept 11 full-time varsity players, 6 seniors, 5 juniors, and we.
Well, that's a nice mix.
Yeah, and we got a lot of length, a lot of size. Preseason's been going pretty well for us. We practiced just varsity today. We had the JV practice this morning, so it was just the varsity after school today, and it was just so good to go against each other because right now our second group is like, I know people just kind of roll their eyes at this, but our second group is like 6'3", 6'5", 6'7", and we got a 6'1" guard and another 6'3" kid. So it's like, we're going up against a varsity team out there, so when we're out there playing, that just makes us so much better on a daily basis, being able to go against those types of kids. And that's the one thing that I keep trying to impress upon the students that are coming up in the system at KV, that everybody's like, well, I want to play. Well, we all want to play. As a basketball coach, I can really only guarantee minutes to about 8 players every game, and we'd like to get them all playing time, but the fact of the matter is, that doesn't mean that you're not the next man up if somebody gets injured, or anything like that happens. So you got to continue to practice hard and be ready. So when your number is called, that you can perform. And it's tough to get these kids to keep coming out when you can't guarantee them the minutes. But there's a couple seniors I've already talked to that I'm like, listen, the reason we won our sectional in 2008 was because I had 3 seniors on the team that played about once every 4 or 5 games, but they provided my varsity so much practice intensity that they went against that, they're the reason we won sectional.
People don't realize that, do they?
Exactly, and and I even said that on the radio after the championship game. It's like, these are the kids that made us win the sectional. They don't get the minutes or whatever, but because I got a 6'3" senior we're playing against, and a 6'7" senior I'm playing against, and and a 6'2" senior that's really strong I'm playing against. They're getting us better, and our JV is going to be okay. But we could go against a JV and not improve, and a lot of years when you get kids that don't come out because, quote, they won't play, you get stuck in that. And we're not. Luckily for us this year, we're not stuck at that. We can scrimmage against ourselves when we feel like it, and get ourselves sharp. And we don't do it like every day for an hour at a time, but we do try to do 15 to 20 minutes every day against ourselves, and sharpen ourselves up a little bit. And I just think it's going to help us, especially against our tougher competition.
Is that one of the hardest things to do as a coach, to find playing time for everybody? Or for the people that are going to contribute?
Oh, without a doubt. And, and like I said, as a coach, you get attached to everybody, all the players. You know, so like I got 11 players right now on my varsity full time. I mean, if I'm not attached to all 11 already, it's not going to take too long. You know, so it's always like, you know, but once again, I mean, I can only guarantee minutes for like 8 people because it's just there's not enough minutes in the game to just get everybody in. Well, I mean, is the goal to get everybody in or is the goal to win the game? You know, I mean, I think the goal is to win the game. And, you know, not to say these other kids are bad, but it's just like, you know, I mean, you know, there's rankings for everything. And, you know, here's your top 8. But once again, that doesn't mean you're not going to get in. It's like, okay, so-and-so rolls an ankle. Well, here you go. You got to be ready to go, you know, and we, you know, just practice hard. And so when your number's called, there's not a drop off, you know, but it is very difficult. And you always feel for the kids that don't get in, but you got to understand that you are really helping this team. It's just sometimes it's just unfortunately we're not seeing it on game nights on the court. But as coaches and players and stuff, we understand what you're doing. So, but that's for kids sometimes it's especially, you know, that's just difficult in today's world. That's just difficult to understand. That's a pretty high level thought.
Key players for your team this year?
Well, I was just joking with some coaches over there. Cam Webster's back for his 32nd year.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, he's a professional high school student. But yeah, he's a senior this year, 6'4" guard. You know, it's going to be a pretty good. We're hoping it's going to be a pretty good year for him. He's about 60.6, a little over 60 points away from 1,000. So sometime early this year in the season, he'll be getting that
second game.
Oh, I mean, third or fourth probably. And then he's a little over 300 points away from being the all-time leading scorer in KB history.
Wow.
So, you know, barring injury, and you know, we're figuring, you know, if he plays like he's normally plays, we're thinking like late January, early February, somewhere in there. So obviously it's going to be a pretty big year for him. And, you know, he's obviously trying to look to play to get to the next level, too. And, you know, but I tell you what, in practice, he has been outstanding on the defensive end so far in practice for these 2 weeks. So, and, you know, we talked to him about, you know, because I know he's looking at colleges and stuff. We talked to him about, you know, there's thousands of kids across America that can score 20 points a game. What's going to separate you? You know, and it's going to be the defense and the rebounding from the guard spot at 6'4" that you can do. So you need to really focus on those types of things. I mean, you're just one of thousands of kids that can shoot it. You know, and he's really taken that to heart. He's really stepped up his defense in practice, and his rebounding has been really good. So hopefully he brings that to Rensselaer on Tuesday night, because, I mean, if he does, he changes the game in a lot of ways by doing that. He was the first team all-conference kid last year, obviously. We got Jeremiah Jones coming back, our starting he started forward for us last year, but he's going to be our starting center this year. 6'5", senior. He was first team all-conference last year, too. One of the hardest workers we got. Man, does he work hard. I mean, he's our starting center, and he wins every sprint by a mile. It's like by a mile. I mean, he never gets tired. Just a motor all the time, almost impossible to block out. Just a really, really good guy to have around. So yeah, he'll, you know, we return him. We had an honorable mention all-conference kid last year that moved up halfway through the year. Bobby Lalonde, he was a sophomore, 5'11" guard. He plays with a lot of confidence, a lot of moxie about him. He really knows the game really well. He's a hustler too. Yeah, obviously he'll be one of our starting guards. So you know, so we got you know, those are the 3 key returners. But you know, we also got
a great JV squad, if I remember right.
I was just going to say we had an 18-4 JV squad. So you know, we got a couple all-conference kids, first team all-conference, and you know, and then we got an 18-4 JV squad coming up to meet them, you know, and it should be, I mean, you know, as long as they figure out the chemistry and the roles and stuff like that. And we've already had our role discussion with every kid. We did that at the end of the first week, and we are like, here's your expectations. Here's, you know, do you have the green light? Do you have the red light? You know, stuff like that. And, you know, here's what you can do for the team. And you know, it's an interesting dynamic having that type of talent still returning, but then that type of help coming. So, you know, it's been a pretty competitive first couple of weeks. So we just got to, you know, maintain our focus, and we got our scrimmage on Friday night against Griffith. So we'll see how that goes, and you know, we'll learn some stuff about us there, and we'll just kind of move on and hopefully keep building as the year goes on.
Expectations?
I think the expectations are pretty high, you know, but that's okay. You know, once again, we have an 18-4 JV team coming up. I mean, people are going to anticipate you have a pretty good year. You know, especially when you got somebody like Cam and a couple guys like Cam and Jeremiah still around. And like I said, we moved that Bobby Lalonde up halfway through the year, and the JV still had 18-4 record. It was like they didn't miss a beat. So obviously, you got some gamers at that level that are coming up, and the expectations are pretty high. It's a chemistry issue that I think we've had a pretty good 2 weeks of chemistry so far. They seem to get along really well, and I think that's one of the things last year that might have made us not hit our level of potential. And I'm not saying the locker room is bad; they're all good kids, But I just didn't. I don't think the mesh was there quite as well as it needed to be.
Is that roles or what?
Kind of roles, but just kind of just kind of a feel you get when you just listen to the kids converse and stuff like that. I got my group over here and I got my group over there, and it seems like this is a much more cohesive bunch. Boy, they yap a lot. I know that. Man, they like to chat. So, and they'll chat with the wall if it'll talk back. So that's okay. That's good. I mean, it'll make the games interesting, I'm sure. So, and especially off that JV team, I got a lot of kids that have an edge that you don't want to take it away because that's what makes them who they are. Sure. That's what makes them the players they are. But they just got to know where that edge is. That you're good and then you're not good. Just relax there a second. So, but I mean, it's gonna be a fun year. We just got to play to our potential and as much as we can and keep learning and go from there. But one thing that cracks me up is we don't do one thing the same as last year. I mean, not one thing.
Not one.
Defense, offense, nothing. It is 100% different. So,
Is that good or bad? We'll find out.
We were 9-15 last year, so I mean, but we don't do one thing the same. So have fun watching film on us last year because you'll see nothing that you're going to see this year. So that's kind of unique, but makes it interesting too at the same time.
Coach, your guys circle that game to lead off the season. I see you got beat by 21 to Rensselaer last year. Is it at all that rivalry like the Cracker Barrel in football?
I don't know. I don't know if it's gotten to that level as football yet. I think it's getting there though because now that we moved it to the first game of the year, that just adds a little something to it. So I think by doing that, it will build itself to that. I think when it was just another game in January, I don't think it was quite as big a deal, but now I think since it's the first game, that's everybody's talking about it. It's over Thanksgiving break for a lot of college kids, so they're back in town to watch it and stuff like that. Just like in the football season, a lot of college kids haven't left yet, so they're still in town to watch the game. And so it's gonna the more it stays where it's at and on the schedule, the more it's gonna get that feel. I definitely feel it more now than I did 2 years ago when we started on that day. So I just think it builds every year with that. So, in Rensselaer, they probably had the feeling of we went down here 2 years ago and kind of handed it to them a little bit, and they were upset about that. So they came to our place last year and handed it to us. And it's just we'll see if we can return serve this year. And
what do you know about the Bombers? Lost a little bit.
Yeah, they lost a decent amount. They had a great year last year. That was one of those teams where I think chemistry was outstanding on. And they really played well together, understood their system really well, understood their roles really well, and didn't deviate from that a whole lot. And just they were really what were they like 20-6 last year? They were really successful because of that setup that they had. They also had really good court leadership. I thought those seniors did a tremendous job.
Heck of a backcourt.
Oh, no doubt. They lost a lot, but Rensselaer's they're going to come in. They're going to play extraordinarily hard. We watched some film tonight of our game last year, and just pointed out a lot of situations where they flat out hustled us. You can say we didn't box out, but the fact of the matter is the Rensselaer kids still had to go get the ball. And then they just do things like that and just out hustle us, and they're going to hustle all the time. They're hard workers. That's who they are. Corbin Matthew, I know, is their obviously their leading returner. He's going to be the main guy returning, but they have other pieces other than him too that are they're going to be trying to butt. Most of them other than him, are going to be kind of finding their way on the varsity early this year, so maybe it's a good time to see them. Because I think as those kids get a little more comfortable in their new roles, because I mean, like last year, there wasn't a whole lot of new roles on that Rensselaer team last year. I mean, they had basically had it figured out going into the year. There's going to be some new roles this year, and some kids are going to have to step up into things, and so it'll be an interesting dynamic there just to see how they're doing the first game of the year and see how we're doing the first game of the year. I think we might be a little more in their boat from last year. Then they're kind of maybe in our boat from last year a little bit, So that's we'll kind of see, but you throw. I mean, I know it's 0-0, but I was going to say throw the records out, but I mean it's it's Rensselaer KB. It's going to be it's going to be a hostile crowd for us down there, and we just got to be ready for it, and we're going to be fired up to play. I know that.
And that'll be our season opener on 3KG.
We're looking forward to it.
For boys basketball anyway. It'll be a season opener and.
Any early impressions on the Northwest Crossroads Conference? Your second place finish last year.
It always goes through Munster. We got Munster at home this year, so that's going to be a good one for us. I mean, we start our conference play up at Andran. Andran's always a difficult place to play, but we have had pretty good success against them about the last 3 years. So, Hobart kind of got up, and I mean, we played really well at Hobart last year and got them. And then they got us in sectional. So we're going to have to – I mean, there's a lot of teams in our conference that if we're not ready, they can get us. I think if we're ready, then I think if we're not above Munster, we're right behind Munster. And Hanover Central comes into our league this year. They're a new team in our conference, which, they had a pretty good ball club last year. They lost a number of kids too, though. So they're going to be kind of on the build-up early in the year. But – we don't have them until late February, so they'll probably be a little more in tune at that point in time. But yeah, we're everything goes through Munster until somebody knocks them off, and we're obviously we want to see where we're at when they come to our place in first Friday in January, I think it is. So,
coaching staff this year.
Oh, we made a change on the coaching staff. David Hanger was my varsity assistant. He's just gonna be a volunteer now. He's really wrapped up with his daughter's softball world. He's got a couple of daughters that are wrapped up in travel softball, and the travel baseball and travel softball scene is almost insane. So they go all over the place all year round. So he, instead of being our varsity assistant, he just kind of became our volunteer assistant. This year we hired a new varsity assistant by the name of Trevor Thomas. He was on our staff as an 8th grade coach a couple years ago, and now he's back as a varsity assistant. The kids love him, and in fact, one of the reasons we do everything totally different is him and my JV coach, Brett Walther, who's still around. I called them in like May of last year, and I said, you guys are in 100% control of the defense. I got other than just watching and teaching a little bit of what they want me to teach, I got nothing to do with that. So, I delegated that to them, and I'm in charge of the offense, and so that's why I'll be talking about if we lose how bad the defense was, and how the offense tried to bail them out but just couldn't get it done. But
of course,
yeah. But anyway, it's been really good to have those kids listen to some other voice other than me for half of a practice all the time, and it's not that I don't talk and I'm just hiding in the background, but they are when it comes defense time. And I was that way at Central Catholic under Chad Dunwoody. I was the defensive guy and he was the offensive guy. So when it was defense time, he was kind of, you got it, man. And so I was out there teaching and doing the stuff, and I just thought that was a good dynamic to try on our staff, and it's been really good so far.
So in huddles, will you split the time with your defensive coaches talk, or you talk, or how does that work?
I think each huddle is a little different. I think if you're calling a timeout, you're calling a timeout for a reason. So if it's the offense, if the reason is offense, then obviously I'm probably going to dominate that timeout. If the reason is the defensive issue, then they're going to dominate that timeout, and I got no problem with that happening. If it's just a normal timeout, then it'll probably be me probably doing most of the chatter there. If it's just a regular just timeout, but if we call a timeout for a defensive issue, I'll probably be just like the other players, just looking over, we'll see what the coach is drawing up on the board, and be like, "Go team, 1, 2, 3," and that's about it. But that's okay. It's hard to tell teammates to It's hard to tell kids on a team to trust your teammates if I don't trust my teammates, and that's just kind of the way I view it. And those two guys, Trevor and Brett, have been outstanding so far with what they do. The kids really respond to those young voices too out there, and I just think it's good to have a different perspective. And like I said, they're like, "Do you want it? What do you?" When I told them they were in charge of the defense, they're like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "It's not what I want. It is exactly. I mean, you do what you want to do, and I will support you." And like I said, just we do everything entirely different, so that's part of the reason.
Can't wait for Tuesday.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. We got to get by a scrimmage against Griffith on Friday first and learn some stuff from that. But yeah, we're definitely looking forward to Tuesday. Can't wait for that, and we'll see where things go from there.
We'll see you after the game. All right.
All right, I'll be up there.
All right.
Thanks,
Bill
Coach.
Shepard from Kankakee Valley been our guest. Back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
Welcome back to the Coach's Cage Show. Bob Kurtz and Bill Kay with you tonight. Scotty Miller running things behind the scenes. Thank Arnie's for hosting all these coaches here tonight and giving them food and drinks. And again, as we did earlier tonight, we welcome a new coach in to our show anyway. It's Ethan McCamick from DeMott Christian. Ethan, thanks for coming down. Appreciate you being part of the program.
Yeah, glad to be here.
All right, well, this is our first chance to talk to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you went to school, and how you got to be coach of DeMott Christian.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually from the Illinois suburbs. Coached out there for a little bit in Romeoville and Aurora before moving out to Indiana. Coached at Wheeler for a year, and then kind of got dragged down by my now assistant coach, Zach Menard. Convinced me. So last year I was commuting all the way from Munster down to DeMott, so it was a little bit of a haul. So. So yeah, this year we moved down, so quite a bit closer to the school, about 2 minutes away now. So
now, do you teach?
No, I work in software, so my schedule's pretty flexible, allows me to do this.
Oh, well, that's good anyway. So what'd you finish last year with your squad, and how many people did you lose?
Yeah, so we finished 14-10 last year, had a pretty good season. Lost really three guys who were in the rotation. One big loss, 1,000-point scorer, Jacob Miller, graduated, 4-year starter. So that's going to be a big loss for us this year to try to fill the gap he left for us.
What kind of numbers seems like everybody's got good numbers.
Yeah,
good numbers.
Yeah, we had good numbers. Typically at DMC, we've not done cuts in the past, but the school is growing pretty rapidly, and space is becoming a pretty big issue. So we cut down to 21 this year. We got 12 on varsity, 6 seniors, 6 sophomores. We got no juniors in the program this year. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah,
right?
it's. I mean, we'll see. We'll see next year. But yeah, good numbers, good turnout. Yeah.
What's your summertime like with the boys?
Yeah. So we try to get out and play in a couple shootouts and a couple scrimmages with some local teams. A lot of things in the Porter County. So we're running every day. We got a lot of multi-sport athletes, which can be tough, but also good. They're most of my guys are soccer players or baseball and golf players. So our soccer team actually did really well this year, one of our best seasons ever. And so those guys coming right in. So in the summer, they're kind of splitting time between 2 sports with basketball and soccer over the summer.
I'm amazed with your school, the size. It's not very big.
Yeah.
And you have great sports programs.
Yeah. It's truly phenomenal, especially the senior class this year. Really, we have kids who are all conference in 3 sports, which is absolutely nuts. Our golf team, for some reason, was one of the top 1A schools in the state.
Wow.
Which is, and we have varsity basketball starters playing golf. And so it's really kind of a testament to what they're churning out there at DMC and just the level of coaching and kids that we have over there. So it's a fun time. I'm glad they get to play multiple sports and also, compete at a high level.
Tell us about some of your key players and how the practices in the preseason have been going.
Yeah, so we've got a pretty strong group of seniors this year. Like I said, 6 seniors on varsity. 4 of those are returning starters. And one of those got a lot of minutes last year as well. So we return a pretty solid core. We're probably going to be led by Luke Terpstra this year. He was probably our 2 guard last year, averaged about 12 points a game for us. Really explosive guard, really good shooter. And then also Gabe Rotier, he's a 6'4" forward, so he'll be a solid for us. Both captains last year as juniors, so those 2 will anchor us. Jacob Dyke, Jace Boltema. Jace Boltema was all-conference honorable mention last year. He'll play our 5 this year. So we'll be a little smaller, a little faster than last year, but really a solid group of seniors leading us. We also return Tony Boss, who was really our lone freshman minute getter last year. He shot 40% from 3 for us, and so that was really good as a freshman. We're expecting kind of a big season from him. He's a 6'4" sophomore point guard, and so we're pretty excited about him. Needs to put on a little weight, but he's very skilled, really good shooter, really good ball handler, and so excited about his ceiling this year.
Coach, this is off the wall question, and if I'm out of place, just tell me. When is DeMont Christian ever going to play Kankakee Valley in basketball?
I
know it'd be a big challenge, but
no, yeah, we play them a lot in middle school, and it's always a big game for the kids. They have a lot of friends on both teams, and so we've always done that. I've got a couple former players on my coaching staff, and I think we used to do a scrimmage. Things got a little chippy, and so we took a little break. And so since I've been back, it hasn't been no talk of it. But so yeah, I mean, eventually we hope to get there. It would be fun.
Crosstown rivalry there, right?
Yeah, I think they used to do some sort of like fundraiser for their scrimmage, and so it was kind of a DeMont Wheatfield little thing that they had for the community.
I'm glad you're here because I want to ask. Don't get to ask many coaches this, but your gym's kind of unique, isn't it? And how do you?
Small.
How do you adjust to that smallness or no?
Yeah, I mean. That's part of the reasons why we kind of went down to cuts last year. We had 23 in the program last year, and that was tight. And so we're actually building a new facility right next to our building. It's going to give us 2 more courts, and so that'll be great. We moved the middle school over to the high school, so there's a lot of stuff happening there. The gym is small. Home games are fun. The community really turns out. It gets loud in there. It gets, when we're winning, it's really packed and loud. So some of those. Teams that are kind of rivalries for us, the Couts, Hebron, those games will be really crowded. They turn out well, and those are good programs as well. So it's a fun gym to play in, but yeah, it's definitely small, and we got to get creative. My practice plans look like a crazy person at times, trying to move guys from hoop to hoop. So definitely a challenge, but I got a really good coaching staff who helps out with that. So
well, tell us about the coaching staff then.
Yeah, we got all the same guys back from last year, plus 1. So my assistant is Zach Menard. He's a teacher over at the school. He's the one who got me down here. we grew up playing basketball together out in the suburbs of Illinois. And then I got Ryan Skoffsma, he's our JV assistant, and then Danny Boltema, who was on those 2 sectional winning teams a few years ago. He's our JV coach. He's a great guy. Kids love him. And then we added also Luke Zelstra, who is going to be kind of my assistant, Danny's assistant as well. And so, yeah, we got a really good group of guys. Like, kids love them. It's just a really fun kind of like, we're all real tight this year, and so we're excited about this season.
You guys tied for second place in the Midwest Conference. What do you see how that lining up this year? We tied for second. We lost a tough one to Faith last year with Luke Terpstra on the bench with an ankle injury, and so we were really hoping we could kind of pull that out in the end. Played North Newton early in the season, lost by 4. And so this year we're hoping to kind of compete up there. Faith is going to be good. They don't really lose anybody. We obviously lost Miller, but return a good amount of our guys, and everybody's kind of taken a jump this summer. And so we hope to compete. Tri-County is going to be good this year, and so I think it'll be those 3 teams again, kind of really competing for those top spots.
What are your expectations for your team this year?
I think they're pretty high. I think we can. When we're on, we play really well. We can shoot the ball well. When we're off, we can be pretty sloppy. And so we're hoping to improve on last year. We had kind of our goals meeting where we talked to the guys, and I think they're hoping for 16 wins, hoping to win conference, hoping to win the Lakeland tournament that we play over Christmas. That's always a tough tournament. And then last year we lost a really tough one to Morgan Township, who was kind of the head and shoulders favorite of our sectional. They ended up getting upset later that night by Couts. But we played them real close, lost by 4, scored 66 on them, which was the most points they gave up all season. And so Morgan's going to be reloaded. They're going to be good again. They return almost everybody, so they'll be tough. But I think the guys are really hungry to kind of compete and hopefully pull out a sectional this year.
Tell us a little bit about your season opener. Give us a scouting report.
Hebron's huge. They are gigantic. They'll start 3 guys over 6'6". And so they're physical, they're big. Their best player, Landon Hale, went off last year, went 5 for 10 from 3 on us, first game of the season. I mean, it was a shootout, as a coach who wants to kind of pride himself on defense, giving up 73 in the first game doesn't really sit well, but yeah, this year they'll be tough. They didn't really lose anybody. That seems to be the story with a lot of people. But so they'll be tough. That'll be one of our tougher games right off the bat. They're big. They're physical. They can really pound the ball inside, and they got a couple kids who can shoot. So, hopefully we match up well with them. We should be a little quicker than them, but they definitely have the size on us. So we'll see if we can execute.
Any other games next week?
Not next week. No, we got a week off, and then we are home against Oregon Davis and then Couts that weekend.
All right, anything else you want to ask him?
I think that's a wrap for me.
Ethan, we appreciate you coming down and look forward to talking to you each week, except next week we won't be here, but glad you can make it down and look forward to working with you out the season.
Yeah, appreciate having me. Thanks.
Ethan McCamick from the DeMont Christian Knights. Back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
All right. Take it away, Billy. There, I've got a text to respond to.
Are we back? All right. Hey, back here with North Newton varsity coach Chris. What can you tell us about the early going of your season?
The early going of our season.
I'll mention a word.
Go ahead.
Turnovers.
Turnovers. That's the word. Yes, unfortunately.
That's a theme going here. I don't like that.
It is, and I looked right at the girls. I think it was yesterday at last night's game, and I was like, I don't know what to do about these. We can practice them and everything, and we can look good in practices, and sometimes we don't look good in practices. But I don't know how to fix the turnover thing. It's the freak out factor is real. We get pressure on us, and honestly, we've got girls that just get it, and they don't want it. And they get rid of it.
Like a hot potato.
Yes, we've said it's not a bomb, right? I mean, we've said all those things, and we yuck it up about it a little bit and everything. But man, if we could just stop turning the ball over, because you can't score when you don't have the ball. And I've said this now for a year.
Easy shots for the other team too.
And that was last night.
How much of this is a carryover from last year?
A lot of it.
The battle.
Yeah. A lot of it. I mean, we do have a lot of the same players, and with a lot of the same players come a lot of the same issues.
Sure.
And we still work on it. We still use your goggles that we talked about before.
Goggles, oh my gosh.
We still use
you
the
need
goggles.
to bring those in again to show Billy.
We just maybe I should just wear them.
There you go.
wear them on the stream. That'd be great. But we do the passing drills, we do the dribbling drills, and all these different things, and you have to say that at some point it's going to sink in, it's going to work, and maybe even more competition and more of being in it is going to slow our body clocks down and slow our muscles down, so that when we go to throw that pass, it doesn't go through the wall.
Is it just nervousness?
Yes, 100% nervousness. It is. I think a lack of confidence when we get in there, and you get all of a sudden get some patience, or not patience. You get some pressure, and it just elevates everything. It elevates all the endorphins and everything, and they're just, they just kind of freak out. And as soon as we can calm ourselves down, somehow, I don't know how that happens. I don't know if we do some kind of yoga, we do some Zen, we start making rock gardens, sand gardens and stuff, and just do that kind of stuff. But as bad as all that stuff is, there still seems to be a lot of positive. the girls like each other. We like working together. You know, coaching staff and the girls, we like to work together. We like to work through things. They like to have ideas about how we're going to get better. Today they watched the Whiting film from their game against Boone Grove, and they all kind of took notes on what it's going to take for us to win.
That's good.
So the mental part of it, maybe that'll help us. Maybe going in and knowing, okay, if we do this, this, and this, we can come out on top. Maybe that's a step in the right direction. But you know, nobody's down right now. We won our first game. That was always a big start because last year we were 0-7. And
how many turnovers did you have that against Calumet?
We still had over 30.
Oh, did you? You're kidding.
I mean, we scored 34 points, and we should have.
That's the standard we set. 30.
We should have scored 60. Honestly, I mean, from missed shots and turnovers. You know, it is what it is at the moment. You know, you just try to push through it, and eventually those numbers will come down. You have to believe that, otherwise, it'll be really miserable, right? So, you just have to think that everybody's going to just come together and just like bring everything down, and you know, at some point it's going to get better.
Sure.
But yeah, we're 1-3. And you guys want me to start with Saturday?
Yes.
Or do you have something else?
No. Well, just go with Saturday. You played River Forest.
Oh
right?
yeah, we did.
And that's still bugging you, I can tell.
It is, and I think it bugs the girls too because it was flat bad. We started the game and we missed 10 layups.
Oh, jeez.
We made 5 out of 16 free throws in the first quarter. That's how many we shot.
Holy cow!
We made 5 out of 16 free throws, and at the end of the first quarter, we were down 11-9. So that was the good news, right? So, and the girls are probably like all sitting there like this going, oh, no, we got to talk about this game. But I don't know what else you do, right? So it's 11-9, and we get to halftime, and I think we were down by 12, and it wasn't a good halftime. I mean, I'm not really the kind of guy that's going to go in there and melt the paint off the walls, but I was not happy. Neither of us. Myself, Coach Busboom, we didn't have a lot to say. It was just one of those things. We just weren't playing. You know, we had some girls in foul trouble. McKenna didn't play a lot in the second quarter. And then she came out kind of rejuvenated in the third, and we got it to 5 points. We had 3 or 4 stops in a row and went down and we scored and we looked really good, and it looked like, man, we're gonna come out with this, you know. As bad as it was in the first quarter, we kind of weathered the storm and only down 2. We were down by 5. Well, then at the end of the third quarter, we take a shot, we rebound it, we throw it away, they score a layup, that's 7, and then we don't get out on a 3-point shot. They hit it at the buzzer. We're down 10 at the end of the third. That's what's been happening these last 2 games, these little avalanche moments that we can't really come back from. So we're down by 10, and later on in the game, McKenna fouls out with 5 minutes left pretty much, and we still stay in. 3 minutes left, we're only down 33-25, and then the wheels fall off and we lose 44-27. So it was a terrible game. We were 8 for 43 shooting. We were 11 for 24 from the free throw line. So all those free throws we took in the first quarter, we didn't go back to the line later on much. I mean, we only went back 8 times through 3 quarters. So we stopped going in, and maybe that was turnovers. We had 33 turnovers against River Forest. Some statistical things, I suppose, for that game. McKenna, it wasn't her best game at all. She had 13, so she's still in double figures. She had 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and 5 deflections. Cheyenne Cahill had 6 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. A newcomer, Paige Cuthbert, she had 4 points. She really hustles. She's new, so she hasn't played too many games, but she's all over the place, and she gives everything she's got. Not everybody we have does that, and if we did, we'd be better off. But she had 4 points. She had 8 rebounds. She's all over the place. And in this game, I think we
not
said
a very big girl either, is she?
No, not for what she does, and I don't know if that's right or not. She might be a little taller than that, but.
You're supposed to fudge your height.
I know, but I don't think I had a lot to do with this. So
Oh.
maybe I should add a couple inches. Next year I'll be more proactive about it. So McKenna would be 6'2".
There you go.
Right? Yes.
Scare some people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this game, Macy Busboom, had 5 rebounds, and she had, I think, 6 in the previous game. So, we had some decent stats and some things happen with people. But, man, just that whole first quarter, you give River Forest a chance to stay in the game just by us missing all those shots. We should have had a well over 20-point quarter, and we never do that.
Yeah, if you just hit.
If we hit the shots,
60% of your free throws, you'd been up.
But if you saw some of the layups we missed, they were the kind where we catch the ball underneath the basket, and it was an air ball. It was just, and the girls will tell you too. They watch it, and I'm sure they watch it and do one of these because
how could I do that?
It's ridiculous, and it's again the freak-out factor. I mean, you might as well call those missed layups turnovers as well, because you get the ball at point blank and you don't hit it, and once we get that under control, again, that and the turnovers, it's going to make a big difference. Sure.
So you don't have a lot of problems to solve; they're just big problems.
Yeah, you could put it that way, I suppose. If we're looking on the bright side of things, we have turnovers and we need to make shots. So yeah, I guess so. Those are rather big things. You're right.
Right.
I'm kind of happy about the way we've been playing defense. After we played that Lowell game and it was just layup after layup, it was a little bit better against River Forest. Now, one of the things we don't want to do is give up threes, and we gave up too many. I think we gave up about 9, not makes. They made 3 of them, but we don't want to give them up. We don't want them to be shot. So, everybody makes threes against us, and we don't shoot too many of them, so we need to defend it, right? So the defense has been pretty decent. And if I guess, go to last night's game.
Played at
Westville. At Westville, and it was great to get in that gym again.
Big trip.
It was a big trip. It was about an hour and 20 minutes, and just walking into that gym, though, it reminded me of when I was in high school, because I grew up in the PCC. So playing at Westville, it was one of those kinds of gyms, like lacrosse, which is now Tri-Township, and just those gyms are great. And I told the girls, enjoy this, because it's not always that you get to be in a unique gym like this and not some just cookie cutter that most people have.
Right.
But we went in there and we just got squashed immediately. I mean, it was they were on us, and actually it wasn't because they were pressing us. We were making mistakes. We missed a couple shots. They ran. They scored. We were down 17-2 just like that, right? And we came back in the first half, and we were down 25-12 with a minute and a half to go. And you know how I talked about avalanches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We went into halftime 34-12.
Oh, whoops.
Right.
Wow.
And you still have things to look forward to there. You're like, we did some good things. But, we had good looks where we had somebody wide open and we threw it into the stands. Or we missed somebody just by this much. Or we missed a couple easy shots. We missed probably 4 or 5 easy shots that would have made the score closer. But I saw good things. And the points that they scored had nothing to do with our defense. It was one of those deals where they just ran and they scored before we could play defense because they were just faster and more athletic than us. And we're gonna see that. That's gonna happen. So we were down 34-12. We got into the second half, and they got to that 34 or that 35-point mark about the beginning of the fourth quarter or something. So we had that running clock. But I feel a whole heck of a lot better about last night than I felt about Saturday, because Westville's a better team. They were more athletic. They had a girl about McKenna's size that was driving the basket and looking like a guard. So, they just had players that we don't really have. But I also saw things, I see now, this was Summer Wynn's third game because she missed the last game because of a softball commitment. And McKenna and Summer look for each other. They're both post players. So that's something to look forward to in the future. They both look for each other.
A little high-low action.
Absolutely. Or low-high, whichever the case might be. So we've got people that are now starting to look for each other. And, for Summer not really playing a lot of basketball, she's got some really good savvy, and her athleticism really helps us. So that's going to be a really big positive as we go through the season and we all start to kind of gel together. So our final score last night was 53-20. We didn't do a lot of scoring. And again, I wasn't really all that upset with the defense. A lot of the half-court defense we played was pretty good. They scored a whole lot of those points on just runouts off of our turnovers and things like that. So, I am pretty excited about this new defense that we're doing. So everybody's kind of getting it a little bit more, and that's a good thing. Our stats for last night were, McKenna again led us. She had 10 points. She had 6 rebounds, and she had 3 blocks. Summer Wynn, we only had 20 points, right? Summer Wynn had 8 points, and she had 4 rebounds. Cheyenne Cahill had 3 steals. Paige Cuthbert, again, was all over the place on defense. And then June Busboom is one of the kind of the leaders of the defense. She's kind of up front, and last year we had something that was a little bit more aggressive, where she was up and kind of pointing people places. We don't quite have the same kind of thing, but she's kind of a focal point in hoping that, or talking and making sure people are where they're supposed to be, along with McKenna, who we call the goalie, and in our back spot. Where we got this from, the guys like, centers don't like to be called centers anymore, because center kind of infers that you can't move, blah blah blah. So we just call them the goalie because they're the last one back there, keep them from scoring. So that's kind of our philosophy. But we've got 2 losses to talk about this week. One was a bad one. Yesterday's score was bad, but I took a lot of positives out of it, and I think I have some positive thoughts going into tomorrow. Now, my positive thoughts don't mean jack if the girls aren't confident enough to go out there and play and come home tomorrow night, hopefully with our second win. That would be nice.
Take us through the rest of this week and next week.
And next week, yep. Well, we're busy, man. We've got at Whiting, so that's another long bus trip on a weeknight. But these are two fill-in games, and then we host my alma mater, Hanover, on Saturday afternoon, and then Attica comes to our place on Monday night. So after that, we've got a week, and then Lake Station. So that's our upcoming games, and that'll give us 7 of them from November 3rd to November 27th.
That's a bunch.
It is. It is.
Especially when you're struggling, you probably want practice time, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, maybe us playing as soon as we are on Thursday after this game on Tuesday, where you have some positives, maybe that can carry over a little bit. Yeah, it would be nice maybe to go over Whiting stuff or to go over our stuff a little more than we did today to go into tomorrow's game, and at the same time, preparing for Hanover on Friday to play on Saturday. But it is what it is, and I said this last week that if I tell my cross country team that you get better at racing by racing, maybe we'll get better at playing games by actually playing against other competition, and maybe that stress level will come down in games that we just don't see in practice. It does, even if we bring the 8th graders in or whatever, it's not the same as what we're going to see in a varsity game. So maybe the more we see that kind of stress level, maybe that'll be better. And maybe I should ask the psychologist over here and see if that's a valid point. But I think that right now playing games, and then we'll work on a lot of stuff after our Attica game, between Attica and Lake Station.
Coach, do you guys turn it over in practice?
Yes.
It happens there too?
Yeah, we do. It's not just relegated to the games. In practice we do the same thing. We see people, and even if it's 5-on-0 running through the offense, there are times that we just completely overshoot somebody or throw something at people's feet. And I don't know if you know this, but we don't have hands on our feet, so that's going to make it awful hard to catch. So, yeah, we do. We see it in practice. We see it in games. It's just something that we just do all the time.
Can you give us a little mini scouting report on these next 3 opponents?
Yeah, Whiting has a few girls from last year. They've got a center-type girl that returns. Their 3 leading scorers in the sectional game against us return. I watched them on film against Boone Grove, and they beat Boone Grove 65-46. They're going to press, and we watched it today, and the girls were confident that they think they know how to get out of that, so I'm hoping that they're right. Hanover is going to be really athletic. They're really quick. They've got a bunch of seniors that are really fast guard-type players. One of them's a Division I softball player going to Florida. The other 2 are very good soccer players on a very good soccer team. And one of those was the kicker on the football team, too. So they're really quick. They're going to be man-to-man. They're going to press us man-to-man. They do some traps, and a lot of the things they do are the same things that Coach Govert did when he and I coached together way back in the 90s with the boys. But they're going to be tough, and I don't know anything about Attica yet. So I'll have to find some film on them over the weekend. I know that their record hasn't been so hot the last 2 years, but as far as what they do, I don't know anything about them. Not yet.
Chris, we appreciate coming over and talking a little Lady Spartan basketball. We won't be here next week, so we'll see you in a couple weeks, okay?
Yep, absolutely.
Good luck, Coach York.
Thank you.
Chris York from the North Newton Lady Spartans. Back to wrap things up with Chad Pulver from the Rensselaer Central Bomber Boys team after this.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning, family owned since 1991.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Every day you listen to the news, but how is that news affecting your financial world? Things like your retirement and your kids' college fund. You need someone who can help you work towards your goals. Someone to help you move forward in the times of change. Call Mindy Byer at Morgan Stanley. Mindy has 20 years of experience as a financial advisor, and she's right here in Northwest Indiana. To make an appointment with Mindy Byer, call 765-420-8433. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask, give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Well, to close things out, it's Chad Pulver from the Rensselaer Central Bombers, Bill Kay along with Bob Kurtz, Scotty Miller behind the scenes there on running the camera and running the board for us tonight. Chad, good to see you again.
What are you guys doing? Like you're setting up all these things that I don't want to talk about. That's what you're doing. You're making it terrible for me.
That's Bill.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
Don't believe you know better than believe Kurtz.
Well, let's get the bad stuff out. That was just a bad finish, but you had a great year last year.
20-6, come on.
Well, we had a really special year last year. I mean, the reality is that to win 20 games is not an easy thing to do, and we had a special team, and we had to go through a number of different obstacles to get to that record, and the boys played great, and they worked hard, and it was a lot of fun all season long.
We'll just leave it at that then.
I appreciate that.
So what did you do in the off season, and how many players did you lose off last year's team?
We had 6 seniors graduate, and so that was a big chunk of the team. And so we have we're not without spices in the cabinet, but they're a little bit different. Everyone has a different role this year, and so with that being said, it's us trying to put the pieces in the right places and making sure that the players that are there are put in positions where they can be successful, and that's the fun part of being.
Is that going to take a while to do that?
I think it will take a little while. So I think our off season was bumpy. I think that it was, again, people that may not have had the same amount of responsibility in the past were asked to do things that they weren't used to, and I think it just took a while for things to come around in the summer. The off season and preseason have been a little bit bumpy as far as like trying to figure things out. We are currently in a very tough spot. We have a lot of injuries right now.
Wait a minute. You just started.
I wish I were joking. I wish I were making light of this in some way, but we have 2 broken legs. We have someone who...
Can we say who that is or no?
Well, Adam Ehlers was hurt.
Oh, he got hurt in football.
He was hurt in football.
Yeah.
And then Calden Pulver broke his leg Monday. So it just happened.
What is it with Pulver's breaking bones?
Well, this one happened to grow an inch in or about a month and a half. So in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, he grew a full inch, and I think it was just too much for him. And so we literally just were in the doctor's office yesterday for him, and bones grow, and then they have to grow back together. And so as he's gotten taller, he's now standing just under my height, and I think he's a strong kid.
And that's tall.
Yeah, I'm not too short, so I can walk into a room and people notice me.
What's the recovery time for these guys?
Well, the doctor floated originally 10 to 12 weeks, and then as he saw through we had an MRI, we had an X-ray yesterday. It was a long day yesterday. So what we got back after that was it could be quicker than originally thought, because we didn't have a full avulsion, which is where the tendon tears away from the bone. It wasn't ripped. It doesn't require surgery. In the spring, when he broke the other leg, it was all the way through the tibia, and this one is more like a crack, like someone threw a baseball and hit the window and it cracked. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of bone bleeding. So he's very swollen, he's very sore, can't put any weight on, so he's on crutches right now. But anyway, hopefully, my hope is that we get him back in the middle of January. And if we do that, then we're going to get someone who did a lot of work to make himself better, which would be great. And so
how tall is he? 6'7"?
He's 6'7", according to our height chart. So he's taller than what Cass was as his brother. I mean, they're related. And so this last weekend, ironically, he's home. Cass was home for his birthday, and before Cass walked out to go back to college, we measured him, and Calden was taller than his brother. Oh. So that was a big deal in the household. But anyway, we have a lot of things that we can be excited about. It's just, again, we're trying to get the spices in the right place. I mean, we have
Adam Ehlers. Does he have a chance to come back? Or?
The answer is yes. He has a chance. He did have surgery, and he had, I think, 6 screws put into his leg. Ouch. And so, I think today is Wednesday, so tomorrow I think he gets his walking boot on, and then from there he can start being weight bearing. So he's been on a one-leg scooter thing for a couple weeks, and so we have our fingers crossed. And so those two have literal broken bones. We have another senior with Graham Drone, who again was hurt during the football season, and they have classified it as a high ankle sprain. And it's a good sprain. It's something he's working through, but he has a lot of discomfort in the Achilles, and so we're really trying to help him through that. He's been going to the pool every morning at 6 a.m. He's shooting when he can. We're trying to just work on some strength and stretching, and so we're kind of like the walking MASH unit right now. So we had a guy go down with concussion last night, which again is another day. So I mean, hopefully those short-term things happen, and we can move through those. But when we have the nagging things, when a roster of 10 to 12 guys suddenly drops down to 7, 8 guys, and that starts to feel familiar, which isn't a very fun place to be.
And this is second year in a row, right? You've had major injuries?
It's third now.
Third.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
We had Tommy Boyles 2 years ago, Cass and Caden last year, and now broken bones. So now, the difference with the ACLs is that, those are significant and, pretty explosive injuries. Calden's bone breaks, although, not something we'd want, that comes a lot from just growing an inch in 4+ weeks. Like that's just hard on a body. So,
Is he done growing now, or could
No,
this
the
be,
doctor said he's not finished yet. So
could that be a worry even later on when?
I don't know that we really saw it as a worry. I think the doc, we've been going to Forte Sports, which is down in the Indianapolis area, and Dr. Klotwijk, who used to be the physician for the Indianapolis Colts, very experienced man. He's helped a lot of people in our area as well as down in that area, and he's fantastic. He's been very practical with us, and he said, you're not finished growing yet, but what we have to do is we have to let it heal. And then once you have that, we won't have any more problems. And so that's what we're banking on, is that once we get through this process, we do a lot of preventative stuff on our team. We try to do our best to get the guys ready to go physically. And so that's what we're going to focus on. So we have, at the end of this weekend coming up, Calden will be able to do some range of motion. At the end of next weekend, we'll be able to start doing upper body strength. After a week of that, we'll be able to move into more leg stuff, and then we'll get him at the pool. We'll get him into stretching. 8 weeks can go. As long as this season's moving on, what we're looking at, honestly, is the week after Central Catholic. If things go according to what I think they should go for healing, then we're talking about West Lafayette, Couts, and North Judson. We can have someone entered back into our roster, which would be great.
New player, right? Almost.
That would be fantastic if it worked that way.
How many kids do you have out for your program this year, and name some of the key players?
Yeah, we have 19 out from 9th to 12th grade. We have 19 guys, and so the seniors we have right now, we have Jack Chapman. You might remember him from our sectional run. He had a great run for us, coming in and being point guard for us. Corbin Matthews is returning. He's a junior this year. Caden Rowland was a real important facet for us last year when we were in the run that we were. Unfortunately, his season was ended with about 7, 8, 9 games left in the season.
Yeah,
somewhere around in there.
Is he healthy now?
He is healthy, so he started playing full in the football season, was able to get out there and go live, which I thought was great for him. I thought he did a nice job. I think it gave him some confidence back in just moving and being around, and so I think he's got good energy. He's excited about being in there, and as a senior, we really need that ability to get in. We do have a new senior that came in this year, hasn't played ball in a few years, but Dylan Lazatter came out this year and spent all off-season with us, lifted, conditioned, did all the different pieces, and so actually put himself in a position to be on the team, which I think is a great thing. And then Graham Drone is our last senior there. Graham finished the season last year with shooting over 40% from the three-point line. So getting him healthy and getting him back and be able to be mobile is real important for us.
When do you expect him to be back?
Well, it's when we had the conversation yesterday with the athletic trainer and his family and him, we're hoping that tomorrow we can get him into warm-ups. And so that way he can go live and warm up. I don't expect to get him in at all for the scrimmage, but just to have him go through the layups and go through the shooting and go through some of the semi-live action that happens in a warm-up, I think will be good. We'll get to gauge him a little bit more, and that's what I hope, is that it's a positive experience tomorrow, and then that might give us Friday, Saturday to see if we can roll him in. I mean, we have 2-hour practices, and so that might be a little much for someone who hasn't been around for a few weeks, and so we've got to get his stamina up, we've got to get his cardio up, we've got to get him strong again. We need to be able to get some lift off the floor.
Unfortunately, that's a lot of your size. All these guys are big.
Yeah, when we're looking at it as, Ayler's 6'2", Calden's 6'7", Graham is 6'3". I mean, we're missing a few pieces there, but we have really tried to embrace the fact that we can't change some of the stuff that's happened to us. We have to learn to bounce out of that. We have to learn to be able to roll with what it is. And so we've talked a lot about the responsibility that each of us need to take in order to make the situation better. I think we've talked a lot about the potential of what we can do to grow into new responsibilities. And so that's the exciting part, is no one's written it for us. We get to write our own. But we have to make sure that we're active and we're doing our best. And we're certainly trying to bump against some of those bumps in the road and make sure that we're smoothing them out the best we can.
Right now, what are your expectations for this year?
Well, I think given what happened last year in the sectional, it's a pretty wide open sectional. And I think that us knowing that going in is we have adopted a growth mindset. I don't know that it's going to be pretty early. I think last year we had a feeling like we had a good idea of who was on our squad, how they were going to fit together. Those guys had spent a lot of time with each other, and so when we were able to start like we did, we had we went 3-0. Dropped a couple there when we were playing in the Lafayette tournament, and even those 2 games that we lost with BC and Westside, I think some of that had to do with we had, in that case, Cass went down with his ACL, and so we were kind of figuring out how are we going to put this back together. We righted the ship. We got ourselves back going again. We put on a nice winning streak. We were able to finish out the season. So we're having some of those bumps early right now. And what we have in place of guys that have been 2 or 3 year varsity guys is most of these guys are pretty new. They're pretty new to that system. And so I have a lot of confidence in them, but we have certainly got to make sure we're buckling down and executing on the defensive end, turning them into transition offenses, taking care of the ball, making sure that our offense has a purpose to it. So it's all basic. It's all fundamental stuff, but the execution of the fundamentals is what separates teams from great teams.
How much of this year, especially to start, is like starting from scratch, losing that backcourt that you had last year?
Well, when you have 2 guys graduate and you lose about 30 points from the floor, that's a significant change. Now, Corbin Matthew can put points on the board, and he's a strong kid and he's athletic, but he's not going to do 30 points by himself.
Right.
And so even if we get him to that 15 to 18 range, we still need points. And so it opens up the door for a lot of guys to be able to get up, get points in. I think what it does for us, though, is we really don't want to isolate the ball and just stand and watch one person do it. We need to create our opportunities. And I think defensively, the great thing about defense is it's effort-based, it's position-based, it's the repetition of knowing that you've got your teammate and that teammate can rely on you, and then that can turn into points. If you're willing to put the effort in and run, if you're willing to put the effort in and secure the ball, then we will have a shot. We will have a shot throughout the whole season, and I think that's the part that we're really trying to focus on right now. And then it may be a little ugly early, but you know what? I'll take the wins any way they can come.
Chad, when you have a relatively new team like this year, from year to year, does your offenses change with the personnel and defenses change with the personnel, or no?
It does. And so I've learned over the years that we really try to evaluate what the boys are naturally inclined to be able to do successfully. And I think we try to put them in the best positions possible. And that's certainly what we did in our offseason. We've really looked at who do we want with the ball the most, who's going to be effective, who's going to have advantages in the games. And I think as we've done that, we've tried to orchestrate that and put them in the best position possible.
Give us a little preview of the Hoosier Conference.
Well, with our Hoosier Conference, BC returns, I think, 12 guys. So they're going to be another force this year. I think Twin Lakes is they have some more experience. They had a good sectional run last year. They really mixed things up. They beat Western. They beat us, and Coach Adams knows what he's doing. And so
you're going to have a bullseye on that game, aren't you?
Yeah, we will. And so, and then West Lafayette. It feels like West Lafayette reloads every year. Like they get move-ins. They have people that they've had there for a few years, and so they're always a force to be reckoned with. And the same with Central Catholic. They're able to keep those guys progressing. So those freshmen, sophomores that are able to move up. So on our side of the conference, that's what I love about our Hoosier Conference is if you're competitive in the Hoosier Conference, you can be competitive in the tournament. And I think that's what's so much fun about it.
When do the new teams come into the conference? Next year?
Yes. So Kokomo Logansport should enter officially next year. Cass is out this year officially. They're done. Northwestern is in their last season right now. So I think we're kind of staggered. Basketball is a lot different than football. Football, you need to have all those games. With basketball, you miss a game, with enough time, you can find someone to fill that spot.
Right.
So, but
so is this year still the East-West?
We are still
divisions?
going east-west. There's
Okay.
just no Lewis Cass, and so they are out. They're not a part of it. They just dropped and left. Northwestern's in their last season in the Hoosier, and then they will be out. And then next year we know for sure that Logansport's coming in, and then there's all kinds of rumors that are floating around all over the place for different teams to be
So
invited.
you're trying to find one more team.
From what I understand, we're trying to find one more team, and so we'll see what happens. I mean, I think that for us, where we are, that east side of the conference feels a lot different than where we are on the west side.
But will it go that big school, small school?
I don't know.
breakdown? Oh,
I don't.
okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think that there's
That's
a lot
football,
of
right? It does that in
was
football, right?
Yeah. And I think that again, football can. They have a different beast throughout the year that they have to pay attention to just because of the number of games they need to get. And they're once a week, and you have that Friday night, and you know what's going to happen. In basketball, we're a lot more flexible. We have a lot more advantages with just trying to get people on the schedule. If something happens, team drops out even in December, it can be difficult, but you can usually find something if we need to. And so we will certainly adjust and do what we can.
Now, your coaching staff, I know, has changed a little bit.
Yes, so Colin was our assistant last year, and he is now the head JV coach. And then Colin Kimishek, he was on our staff last year and has moved into the JV head coach this year. Kerry Matthew is now on our staff. He is one of the assistants, and Brant Schmid has continued. I think he's in about his fifth or sixth season on the staff, so he's been a mainstay for us, and so the four of us have, I think, worked really well together, putting together strategies and practice plans and covering the different aspects, and we all have a little bit different experience in basketball and what we're doing, and so that provides different perspectives to the kids and allows for them to kind of gravitate to who they connect with a little bit more, and so it's a good growing process for us as coaches. We're still learning each other and where some of those strengths are and how we might be able to capitalize on that. And so that as we move through this, we're in November right now, but as we get through this, we start doing the film breakdown and looking at the different aspects of what we're trying to do. There are things that kind of bubble to the top that we want to pay attention to, and that's the fun part about coaching, is that we get to switch what we're doing on a regular basis to make the most out of it.
And you got to be happy for Trent Fegley to be the head coach at Frontier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to go and be a head coach somewhere else, and I know that he's enjoying being on the staff over there with the educational side, so as a faculty member, and then being able to be a head coach. And I know he's working pretty hard building their youth program over there and having an off season and doing different things for them. So I think that's fantastic. I think the more that we have, and I've said this for years, but I think the more that our rural teams do well, the better it is for all of us. The one thing that I really am sensitive to is when our those of us that live in rural areas, when we feel like we're just getting doormatted everywhere we go,
Right.
That's not a fun experience. It's
Right.
It's not fun for the kids. It's not fun for the families. It's not fun for the communities. I really want the schools that are around us to play well and to be competitive and to be recognized, because it's such a great sport. It's such a wonderful activity to be able to be a part of. I think the communities, many of the communities, still come together for Friday night, Tuesday night games, Saturday night games, whatever they might be. Basketball is still a big deal. And so to be able to have opportunities like that for us as adults to still be a part of the game and be able to pass on that enjoyment to kids, I think it's a lot of fun.
And next week he's going to start, but we've invited Trent to come over and be a part of the coaches show, and he's going to come over starting next week. He had a scrimmage tonight, so he'll be over to join us, and you Rensselaer fans that like Trent will be able to see them, and you'll see him maybe, and we'll go from there. Let's talk about the season opener.
KV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just a little deal around here, right? So, no one takes it seriously. No one holds any grudges. Everyone's just happy to be a part of it, right?
Billy wasn't happy with the score there a little while ago.
So, it's a big game. I think it's been fantastic that we've moved it to the first game of the season. I think it just gives the boys – I mean, I know our boys are excited to play. I imagine that their boys are excited to play. It's number one for both teams. Like, it's Tuesday night. Let's throw it up and let's see what happens. And so I think that that's a really fun back and forth that's happened over the years. And I know that it's a competitive game. the scores have been close. The scores have been distant. We've been on the losing side of a big score. We've been on the winning side of a big score. But the reality is that that's a fun game. It's a fun atmosphere. Up there is fun. At home is fun. Like it's an intense game. There's a lot of energy around it. I think the boys have a great time, and so I'm really looking forward to it.
And you could probably say that same thing about Tri-County.
Again, Tri-County. I would be understating if I said this first week isn't just a rival week for us. I mean, Tuesday's a rival and Friday's a rival. And then, from there, we have teams that we have a long history with. Talking to guys that played in the 60s and how big of a deal it was to beat Twin Lakes, that's a rival. It's been going on for decades. And so to pretend like that isn't a big deal. Recent history with Benton Central, that's a big deal. So it's like that's what's so much fun is that our boys as players and as kids have played against some of these other kids for years and years and years. And I think that's what breeds into this, okay, we have something to play for. And so it doesn't feel like a throwaway game. It doesn't feel like, who's this team we're playing? What's going? We know these kids. We know their programs. We recognize the colors that when they walk in the gym. And so that's what's so much fun is being able to do that kind of stuff.
And both these games will be seen right here on 3KG. And
I'm looking forward to it.
Are you playing in the Lafayette tournament again this year?
We are. So we drew Harrison the first round this year. No, I'm sorry, McCutcheon. The girls drew Harrison. We drew McCutcheon our first round. So we'll be playing McCutcheon on Tuesday night, and then if we win, then we'll play the winner of that other side.
Where at?
At McCutcheon.
At McCutcheon.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's exciting, and I think that tournament has been really good for us. It certainly gives us a measuring stick very early in the season if we're ready to go or not.
Are you ready to go?
We'll find out in a hurry.
Will you have a C team?
No C team. Nope, just the varsity and the JV. So with right now 16 guys that can dress or play for us.
That's
like
right,
we're
all those injuries.
Yeah, so we're a little thin, and so we're certainly trying to get our ninth graders some experience quick, and we know that the JV is a tough call sometimes when we don't have experienced sophomores that are playing in there. So we did have a conversation with some of the sophomores that would normally be just playing varsity for us, like, hey, look, we're gonna rely on you to do time down. We've got to teach these kids. We've got to get them to be able to grow up. And so they understood. I think they were embracing that role. And so hopefully we'll have some good experience for those kids and not just go out and get bashed in the mouth over and over and over. Like we want them to be successful, but we want them to be able to learn. And JV is very different than a freshman team or a C team. And so some of those kids, I know it's going to be a hard knocks early.
All right, Chad, we'll let you go. Appreciate you coming in. We will not be here next Wednesday, but we'll be at Rensselaer on Tuesday and Friday for your games, and we'll see you next week. All right?
Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
All right. Chad Pulver from the Rensselaer Central Bombers. Back to wrap things up on the Coach's Cage right after this.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for sticking with us. A long show tonight, but we love having all the coaches here. We'll even have more next week. So if you don't hear your favorite coach, let them know you'd like to see him on the Coach's Cage show, and put a little pressure on him to make an appearance here with us. We'd love to have everybody here. We ask everybody from the surrounding schools, but some just don't cooperate. So anyway, that's my rant, so I'll leave it at that. Next week, Tuesday night, it's Kankakee Valley at Rensselaer Central, 6:45 pregame, and I think the same thing for Friday night as Tri-County will come down to take on the Bomber Boys. I'd like to thank all the sponsors for making the show possible. Arnie's and the gang here for hanging with us till closing time anyway. Scotty Miller is always a beautiful job running the board and the camera. Billy, we'll take next week off from the coach's show, and we'll see you on Tuesday night. For my partners, Bill Kay and Scotty Miller, Bob Kurtz, so long, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of 3KG Community Broadcasting.